Futures reversing early gains to trade back in negative territory once again this morning after reports suggest the U.S. will go ahead and ban Russian oil imports as early as today, even without participation from some EU counterparts and partners in the West. So we're keeping an eye on both crude oil here, trading at session highs, at least up nearly 4% at this point once again this morning on that report. The NASDAQ officially in bear market territory as of the close, down 20% from its all-time highs back in November. Big down day yesterday right across the board for stocks. Investors remain on edge with oil prices surging and the overall geopolitical concerns surrounding the Russia-Ukraine situation. S&P 500 was down about 3% yesterday. Its worst single-day performance in more than a full year. Oil prices, as I mentioned, remain the big focus once again this morning, 3.7% right now for crude oil. Brent, the international benchmark, if you will, got as high as $139 per barrel overnight. We'll keep an eye on both here going forward. And a big bounce in Treasury yields this morning, helping the banking sector after a week-long sell-off. The 10-year back to 1.8. We were at 1.7 yesterday, so a huge move up for Treasuries as well. We'll keep an eye on some of the bank stocks. It is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at where we're at right now. Yeah, back in the red for all three U.S. markets on that big pop in crude oil. Again, if you missed it or you're just joining, the U.S. set to ban Russian imports of oil as soon as today, according to reports here. So oil rallying, stocks back to the downside. 0.4 there for the NASDAQ leading the way. Everything else in positive territory. Almost 4% now for crude, as you can see. Bitcoin and Ethereum trying to bounce here as well. It's been a rough week or so, at least 2 or 3 sessions here for cryptocurrencies. Keeping an eye on futures. Good morning, guys. Welcome to Tuesday. Should be an interesting one again. If you like these crazy small cap, tiny float oil stocks, get ready for another wild day again today on these reports, guys. Here we are at day highs for oil.
Well, you know what? Welcome, everybody. You can actually add some of these small cap, low float mining stocks as well, because it looks like that's coming through too. Man, the energy, the markets were looking like they were going to trade up at least a little bit in the morning. And of course, now with the ban on Russian oil, you're going to have crude just made a hard turn off 121 to 125. These names, these small float names are still going absolutely wild. I'm watching 9 as we speak. And, you know, the major names like Oxy, XOM are going to be right back in play. I mean, they're still in good consolidations, oddly enough. Well, Oxy is anyways for a potential break. And then XOM broke that 87 last night. So, well, in the pre-market. But volatility has gone absolutely nowhere. You saw what happened going into the close. The R word is come back. And I think that's what people are talking about when oil gets this high. Yeah, that puts the Fed in the spot, man.
What R word?
Recession word.
Oh, recession.
Oil, look, man, oil prices go this high, it's hard for it not to lead to problems with the overall economy. And what do? You're raising rates into that situation? The Fed's in a tough spot here.
You know what? I mean, Trish has a good point there. She was like, or she, I don't know, was like, Chris, was just saying, oh no, bear. So let's turn this around and let's just try to be a little more positive. Yeah, because, you know, the bear is not nice, but I guess it depends if you're short or not, right? But yeah, we're finally long oil. I have Camber Energy on my mind today. We saw it do 700 million shares or whatever it was yesterday by the end of the day. I don't know what the final print was, but you're looking to take out this 147. We're just going to go long to start the day here on Camber. You see yesterday it stopped at 147. I mean, we got to respect the volume that it's going to do. It's already done 17 million shares. You do have a bottom here of around 125 that we can hold out for. Hopefully we don't have to worry about that. And we're already, and welcome guys. Hey, welcome to the show. It should be a good one today. We'll see about oil, but you can see the arrow. And yeah, straight to the upside. So yeah, we are going to trade XOM. I'm already long right now at 88.15 off of a couple reloads up here. And it's just, we got that note from Biden there. And this is oil. I now have oil up on my screen underneath the People's Trader. And you can see, we're going to watch this. It's touching 125 right now, starting to rip up to the upside. And yeah, I mean, I told you guys stay long. I mean, I didn't tell you. You guys trade your own stuff. But I've been trying to stay long oil. The funny thing is, it's like 3, 4, 5% of my total portfolio. So it's not like I've done a good job. And I was saying that to Brendan before. Haven't done a good job of getting long oil. But, you know, that's what that is. And XOM will still stay long that name as it's starting to go up to the top side right now, trying to break through this 88 bucks. We're just going to stay long XOM today. We have a base of 87. We'll watch oil move. But yeah, that's going to be my initial trade here with oil. We'll see if we get some out at 88.50, and then we'll hold the rest for an upside move. But wow, yeah, hopefully we don't go long too many names, but there are some key ones at some nice levels, including AMD and whatnot.
Yeah, Apple as well. We're note today, guys, ahead of this event. Apparently we'll get a new SE, iPhone SE coming up at 1 p.m. today. There's a virtual event for Apple, so we'll have a look at Apple stock. There's earnings as well. DKS, Dick's Sporting Goods, with a good report. I mean, if the trend continues for earnings this season, good reports get sold. So we'll have a look at DKS coming up here as well. Before we do, though, let's get over to Miss V and say good morning.
Good morning, trading family. Have a wonderful, profitable day. Please make sure you like this video, and let's get it started, Brendan.
Lots to get into here. Let's get it started. Indeed, I want to show you a chart of the U.S. 10-year because banks getting quite the bounce here in the early going. This is an hourly chart of the U.S. 10-year. So just in the overnight session here, we've gone from 176, 175, all the way back to 185. We touched below 171 yesterday, and now we're back to 185 on the 10-year. So Treasury's catching a bounce. That means banks are looking a little bit better today after a week-long sell-off for the banks. If you missed it, this was 8:17 this morning. Bloomberg, the first to report this, the U.S. going to ban Russian oil. Announcement could come as soon as today. So banks on watch, oil stocks back on watch today. Yeah,
I mean, the latter 1,000,000%, and whether it's the low floaters or it's the big cap names, they have to be. And that's just been true recently, you know. And it was definitely true that the banks were making a bit of a bounce here. I'm just looking at Wells. Citi was up 0.5%. I know they were Citi was closer to 1%, if not over it, before that announcement came through. And yeah, and it felt like maybe there was going to be a bottom and then a breakout. That's Wells. That would have been at 47, reversing some of those gains. Actually, just noticed it was a big offer on Wells as well. And Citigroup was looking like seemingly it was going to make a bit of a break as well. So, you know, at this point, on very, very light volume, they're pulling back in. And if you like the longs, it might be throw some stink bids out there. I mean, I'm looking at a Morgan stink bid myself as maybe the R word, the recession word, starts to put them back under pressure. And look, if this is going to drive oil prices even higher, you get past 125, and if we do really see something like a 150, right? Like it's a difficult spot for the economy to be in, and the banks, you know, nothing's good about a downturn potentially, and that would put the banks under pressure. But if you think that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, or that maybe this is going to reverse in the short term, then there's a buying opportunity in some of these banks. I came in before the announcement thinking there was going to be a breakout in some of these, and you know, looking at Citi and Wells there. Now that we've had that news come and pulled back, that changes the litmus a little bit. I just got a breakout. The top just got taken on Oxy, so you'll see me just get ticked into there. 56.75 was a pre-market high. It just broke that, so I got the 80s long. And watching 9, NINE. NOCI was moving. NINE was one of the other ones that's going. It's done almost 10 million shares. It's got a 7-quarter top and is looking to take it out. But the banks, they were on the radar for the longs. I'm not really thinking that anymore.
Okay, so we just got into CEI a little bit there. Neil got into Oxy. I'm already into XOM. So this could be a danger zone. Yeah, we're in at 46 there. We took the top break of 47. We are obviously waiting for 150. We wrote that on our sticky note here today, that was going to be the level that we were looking at here for CEI. Obviously, there's the 150. Here's the sticky note right here for those of you that don't have Twitter. But if you don't have Twitter, you can go on to our watches.tradertv.live, and there is this on here. Huge volume yesterday. should test and take 150 long support down to 125. So here it is. We'll tweet this out again. We'll put it on our chat for anybody at Trader TV, Sean. But we're already into that name, so we'll wait to see. So, all right, that's that. Now, I want to talk about SoFi. Look, I think SoFi is downplaying their bank charter a little bit. Once you get a bank charter, you can start writing your own loans and lending out money, starting new products, and simply put, just acting like a bank. And right now, SoFi has that capability. And I feel like today's Investors Day, if Brendan can double check that, SoFi Investors Day, I think it's today. But we will find that out. And I just feel like this bottom here is, what was it? I mean, I'm trying to play off these January bottoms, but this is really a February bottom, actually, I guess on earnings there right before. Major tech stocks and stuff like that have these bottoms. But right here, like that's 840. I mean, how much lower are we going to go? Like, I almost feel like for a swing trade or something like that, SoFi, if this world ever turns itself around and banks, like Neil was just talking about, Morgan Stanley stink bids and JP Morgan's getting hammered. I mean, JP Morgan's high was 178. It's 120 something right now. But you could see this. SoFi down here, 940, 950. Like, I find this hard to believe that we can't find a good long in SoFi somewhere today. So we'll watch it. I mean, the chart doesn't look good. I don't really have anything to look at here, even if you go to a 20-minute chart. You know, like, what are we playing off of? We're right at these bottoms right now, 950. So I think we go a little bit lower off the open, but maybe we respect this 9 bottom. So I want to watch SoFi. I want to keep it up on my screen. So I'm going to put it on one of my other levels here. Maybe you can't see my screens off Neil's side camera. Can you, Lucas? No, I don't think you can. No, you can't. Okay, that's fine. But anyways, we have, it's kind of, so my screens kind of look like all these in the background. Neil and I we have the main show screen that we show you, which is the bigger level 2. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 other level 2s set up. So what I put on there are stocks that I'm watching, like a Microsoft and AMD stocks that I always find that I'm in. Okay, here we go. There we go. So here's the break of CEI. We have this. We are already long, a pretty decent position for myself, considering we did take some out at 150 there because we had the 147. There it is. And now we're long CEI. Let's go to the moon right now and see if we can start to stay off right. There it is. That's not a bad little look there. Yeah, so it's these, where are we looking at? Oh, right there. Good job. It's these screens right here that we're talking about. So thanks, Lucas. That was good. But here goes CEI. We're long at 48, I guess, off of a first spot, 47, 46, sorry. And then the next one, we took the 150 break. So there it is, just like we talked about it. It's CEI. It's going long, and we are long 154. Let's go CEI.
All right, fast and furious start here. A couple of things. Biden going to speak at 10:45 a.m. This morning. So mark that down, 10:45 a.m. It's going to be oil related, you can assume. So keep that in mind. Also, Sean, on SoFi, there is a JMP Securities Technology Conference today that will be aftermarket that apparently they're participating in. So I think that's the event you're speaking of. A lot of people talking about this as well, VALE in New York. Be aware that that is an ADR. The primary listing is in Brazil. So this is the primary listing for VALE in Brazil, and it's done nothing but go straight down since the open in Brazil at 8:30. On that as well, we're actually going to have I guess it's an analyst for the Brazil market coming on tomorrow morning in the pre-market. So this time tomorrow, we're going to talk about some Brazil stocks. So make sure you join us for that. Neil, you mentioned this very quickly, so we're jumping all over the place here, but stay with us. Gold back above 2,000, 52-week highs, 19-month high, in fact, for gold this morning. So some of these little tiny mining stocks worth a look today.
Yeah, and look, we were talking about some of the material names. Well, I guess we were talking about steel specifically a couple of days ago, but yeah, the other material names have been pretty strong. And there's a couple of them, and they're down at the bottom of our watch list, is small caps. And look, if metals are going to go higher, the way oil is going higher, and everyone's jumping in and running these small cap oil names or energy names higher, then why wouldn't some of these smaller metal names start to go too? So here's TMC up here. PLM is another one, but up 35%. And the good thing is, obviously hindsight's 2020, but imagine like on that first day, Indo, those things were all like $4 or $5. Indo hit 82 at one point. But the key thing is these are just low float beaten up names that get momentum behind them. Now I'm looking, TMC here in particular. It's already broken a bottom break. I want to be buying one of these in front of support. So I look at this $2 level here and then maybe play it from there to like the quarters if it pulls back, and then up to like a 250. There's no defined levels on this, but you get, I want to call it a day one event. I know it had volume yesterday, but in the afternoon. But really, this is the first day that these are all en masse starting to get a bit of a bump here, guys. So I'm definitely looking at this. I want to be trying to buy dips in the first. And whoops, I just got 9. Oh, goodness, of course. Like, right as I'm talking about
That's
that.
good,
like,
man.
there
You
goes,
want these, trust
yeah,
me.
like, there goes 9. But look, man, on a pre-market scalp before 9 o'clock, I am always taking some out in front of a big level. So when it already tested $8 there, and I'm getting a 731 long, you better believe I'm ringing register for 50 cents. Like, it's in my DNA. Oxy's starting to go to the upside, but yeah, even on these metal ones, I feel like the first day, if there's any selling at the open, I want to be buying in front of key support. On TMC in particular, the one we pulled up there, I'm looking for about that $2 range, see if we can catch a bid on that name. I just feel like we've got to be trading this, because we were a little bit late to the party with some of these small cap oil names, and don't want to do the same thing if these metals start to go. The reality is you got to play where the momentum is going to be. And to the upside, let's be real, it's been an energy, and if it goes to the metals or starting to go to the metals, we got to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, another name, WWR, maybe. I saw some talk about this name. This is Westwater Resources, so this was another name that I heard a little bit about there online that could possibly go as well. There's a lot of different names to look at. You got that 9, I got CEI right now. I just kind of want to, I mean, this is not doing crazy amounts of volume, but again, there's these resource companies that are starting to go. What was the other one? SN, we have it written down here, don't we? There's a whole bunch of them. What's the S one? Oh, we actually don't have that one. Indo, we talked about that one. USEG was a runner yesterday in the aftermarket, but it was near the end of the day there that this started to go, and now you're up to $10 as well on USEG, so another name here. And again, it's kind of playing in the same patch. I mean, I don't know if you want to be long, like a CEI, and I mean, by the way, CEI is motoring, there is XOM as well going through, but here it is. This is that move yesterday that we talked about, boom, boom, boom on USEG, and then even today, like, look at it. This is the late day move a little bit, I guess. Here, this is today's move up to $10. I mean, this was what, $6? Here's the late day move I was talking about. 580 up to 7 there right at the end of the day before hitting it back at close, leveling off, and now it's see you later, man, to the upside. And there's XOM. Like, let's go, man. We're all ready. Let's hope that this doesn't happen like it did yesterday, where we make all this cash early and then give it all back. But there it is, man. 88 longs, out 88.50, a third. We're still long XOM, man. The sticky note remains, the king for me. And look, we have a couple names on here. CEI, long, check mark, already in the money 8 cents. XOM, long, check mark, in the money 50 cents. Let's see if NEO and AMD can follow suit. But right now, the sticky note goes 2 for 2, and the money bags are coming out. So let's wait to see where we go. I want to stay long as much as we can. CEI, wow, 58s right now on CEI. We're happy about this play, guys. Took the 46, took the 50, and now we're rocking and rolling here on this name, guys. Let's just keep these longs if we can. I do have an offer now at 58. I may take some out.
Going to be another very headline-driven day here, guys. Just watching for a couple of things coming through. Regarding this Russia and Ukraine situation, apparently there are more talks scheduled, but no confirmation on anything like that. So overall, the market going to be very volatile, I would expect again today. Wanted to mention solar stocks as well. We can kind of group them, obviously. I put renewable or clean energy stocks on the watch list this morning. We can cover all of those. I mean, there's Westwater Resources. There's that OP as well as another one. There's all the solar stocks, though, have been super strong as well, worth a note today.
Well, OP is definitely interesting. Like, that's the one we were watching mostly yesterday. And I find once you pick one, you might as well just sort of stick to it. I know there's been a lot, and this is, again, day one was yesterday for this stock, and you get another day two action here. The $2 range on OP in particular sets up pretty nicely, maybe to be a bit of a top. It's got this nice little steep, I suppose, trend line if you're into drawing that kind of a thing. And it looks like it's just lined up to make a run at that $2 range through the high. I feel like if I'm going to fade something, I want something that gave up the ghost at some point yesterday. And when I see what happened at the close, and I know I was looking at a 170 break and then did not tend to take the 165 because it was too late in the day, and then it ends up halting to the downside. You get a gap up, and already it's being sold off pretty heavily when retail came in the morning. So if it makes another pop, this one feels like it's going to be advantageous to try to catch a fade in. It's just given how it's reacted a couple of times to parabolic moves, but I think it has to break out the high. It just let these things go a little bit. That's why I'm looking for that $2 and maybe the 250. Stick to the. I'm gonna go with like the direct energy names for the breakouts, and OP after what I saw at the close. I think this is one I want to try to fade at some point. So stick to one direction in this and just maybe look for an opportunity to get into a short, which means being patient. That's all it is. And that's why I'm not going to really do much of anything until 9:30 or that $2 range or $2 price.
I didn't look at OP or anything like that. I mean, I'm just still in these positions. I mean, I have an oversized position in CEI, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, look, all these names are moving, they're rocking, it's great. It's going to be a great day, I hope, again here today, if I can manage my positions properly. But I just was going to say, you might not want to, and I said this last time, I would rather, most of the time, like when you're investing, I feel like you want to diversify, obviously, and we've talked about that a lot. But, if I'm going to be in CEI, the idea is that a lot of these, what do they say, the high tide raises all ships. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm already in quite a bit of my, buying power or whatever that I'm willing to put into this space right now on pre-market runners. So I feel like we should all kind of do the same thing. And I just, if the rug gets pulled on any of this, and I don't think it's going to, but if it does, then you don't want to be long 4 or 5 of these different resource names, just because when it tends to happen, it's kind of like when you don't want to be long like Funware, CVI, CFVI, and DWAC all at the same time, but there's nothing wrong with catching a couple of them. So I think if you have some of these names on board, like I do have CEI, I'm looking at that WWR, I already have XOM. So I just think that there are a lot of great opportunities, and really for me, this US EG name that just touched 1040 and is going crazy. This might be the one that I'm trying to pay attention to, just because of the way it was moving yesterday, so on and so forth. So we're gonna watch this. OP is a good one. That Oxy is a good one. I mean, there's so many. 9. I mean, there's just so many. That Wheat also, WEAT, could go again. So there's lots.
I think it's still blocked for us, but
that's still blocked for us, right? I wasn't. Yeah, I saw you and Arun complaining about it on Friday.
I know. We really wanted
I figured it got unblocked, but maybe it did not. So, and then also, you know what? I think we also have to keep some capital ready, because when these Russian ETFs, and I was talking with my kid yesterday, when these Russian ETFs start to open back up again, I really feel like there's going to be a Hail Mary long opportunity on some of these Russian names. Now, I don't think we're any time near it, and you may not want to invest in them, and I get it morally and all that stuff, but I really feel like there's going to be an explosion moment on a lot of these names. So I don't know. I want to get in and out of a lot of these small cap names. Don't want to hold them for multiple days. Let's just get that money, keep some cash on the sidelines. At some point, this market's going to explode. It already is in energy. So let's see if that starts to happen back. Some of these Russian banks, man, were $20. They're now like 50 cents. Like, there's going to be opportunities to deploy capital again. And there goes CEI. We just took out 60. This is what I'm talking about. Like, we just took that out. We're already up, a day's goal. We did this yesterday on BBBY and then managed to give it all back. So let's see if we can hold CEI. XOM, ho-hum. I'm trying to get another piece out at 88888. So just because. 8888 is my next offer. So let's see if we get taken out on XOM.
Is it the 4/8 account?
Yeah, it's the 5/8 account, and we had him.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're right. You was 5. Okay.
So Nick Leeson, already on our show. I'll have to call him about the 5/8 account. That's where I want to put all my PayPal stock right now. So
you can throw in the Virgin Galactic with it too.
Yeah, I want to throw in everything that I have in my TFSA account. Everything that I gambled with, I'm putting it in the 5/8 account, Brendan. I don't know if you're going to join me or not. You might have more morals than I do.
Maybe a little bit. Some analyst moves this morning, guys, of note. It's worth noting there's oil on both sides, to the upside, to the downside. Most of them are price target changes, not necessarily upgrades or downgrades. Bank of America, top of the list here, as we were saying. Some strength in banks, this whiting down here at the bottom. That side, Biogen with a downgrade this morning. There's Oxy with a price target cut. Meta back on here to the downside. And yeah, Rivian can't get out of its own way, guys.
That was You know what? I'm going to pay for
obviously
shorts. I mean, I guess we got to pay for shorts for Rivian. We just talked some out 63, 64 there on CEI. We're still holding half. Although it looks like I have tons of outs because I do, I'm getting paid every time to get in and out of this. My fees so far today is $2. And I've traded 2 names, big cap name, well, I mean, kind of decent names there, and they're pre-market trades. So sometimes those are a little more expensive to hit depending on your gateway. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, yeah,
I was
Rivian.
about to go to, I wanted to bring up Meta, but my chart's going to crash, so maybe look at Rivian.
Yeah, I'll look at Rivian. What, did Meta get downgraded? I didn't even see. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Darn, damn. That's another 5/8 on Facebook. You can go in the 5/8 account as well there, buddy. I'm just glad I haven't really been buying more of that name. Oh, man. Or PayPal. I mean, the last time I bought PayPal, I think was like 160 or something like that. What, this $95 or lower? Okay, so Rivian, we've been looking at this short for a very long time. We love this short in the $60 range. We've actually hit that. And if it was a swing account, I mean, this is one of the names that you'd want to hold short, I feel like. I don't know, down to $42. I don't know if there's any pain in this name left, but it just continues to make new lows. I don't know. I don't want to short anything right off the open. The name for me, and maybe we'll get to this, it's only 855, geez, was Neo. This is the 4th name on the sticky note today. It's going to look at $18 again. That's pretty low for Neo, and I just want to hit that if it takes it down. That's 18. We do have some support all the way back here, but I'm not really looking. I don't think people are going to care about these support levels. Did anybody really care about this at 26 or any of this kind of nonsense here at 19 to 20? I mean, we danced around a little bit. Yesterday we took it out, and we've been taking out 20 for a while. So yeah, let's just look at $18 here on NIO. That's going to be the short for me in this area. And I don't know, in the EV cars, we're going to look at that. And then if you look at Tesla, it's going to take 800. This is another level that we've had concern with for a while. And our charts are just having a little problem loading. I guess there's just so much data.
Some ones you can't.
It's just so much data going through. We're almost out of 88888 on XOM, so hopefully that hits very, very soon. That's a great, I mean, I said it today too. I was like, I got to get long energy. And I just sat down and I didn't even care the price. I just punched long XOM. That was that. As soon as I saw Biden talk about Russian oil there and Joe Byron was like, that's it, we're doing that, then I was like, okay, we're going. There's that 795. We've touched below 800 a couple times. 800's not the key level for me. It doesn't matter. It's this break of 795 is what we're looking at for Tesla. Or if you can short it up to 820, but you make it 820 real early. So if you're going to trade Tesla, I don't advise you trade too much else. I think it's going to be really violent, especially if it does break to 795. So watch out for that. The NASDAQ has made a nice comeback though, right? So that's the one thing. When I came in and, driving into work, et cetera, the NASDAQ was rocking. We were up pretty decent. Then the fall, then a bounce, and now we're hovering around this 50 period again. So the NASDAQ's going to have to make up its mind, and I'm not going to try to force anything today. Those are the key levels, man, 795. And if you can get Tesla, scratch 820, maybe even up here, 830. That would be what I would be talking about. Neil, I hope I delayed enough for your charts to work.
Well, I'll hit this one for Oxy and for 9. I still can't get Facebook, the daily chart I wanted to pull up there. But suffice to say, you're so far below that 200 level that it's looking pretty ugly, and I wanted to play a fade on it, but I'm also going to be looking at a firm. But just going to go to Oxy. It was on that downgrade list, and for some of these, for the non-high flyer names, and so I think it was Dinesh made a really good point. This was the end game for this was sort of the end game. The last shoe to drop would be the ban of imports. Now, it's not quite the end game. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek me saying that because the rest of the world could possibly make the move as well. This is just unilaterally the U.S., and if it goes beyond that, then that would be an even bigger push for oil names. But this is essentially the perfect storm for some of these names here, and you might actually get some profit taking. But it's just a pure momentum play, thinking that some of it was going to come in at the open, and it was such a nice, tight consolidation. That's why we ended up taking it on Oxy. I just got some more shares at a 9 in front of $8, guys, because some sellers have really jumped in there. But if there's one name, and I'm only going to mention it now because it doesn't warrant being on the watch list and hasn't for a while, a firm. But every single day, there's generally been a really good short. Yesterday, I missed the pop and fade at 37. You can see, look at that level. That was Friday afternoon's top. Then the trade was when it broke the floor at 34.70, and that was this level right here. You get the gap down, double bottom back over here in the 23rd. I went too far on my chart. And then you had a bottom break as well, 34.7. Right now, 34.70 to 35, that was the afternoon resistance. That's when we actually were able to get in. And we have a top right there again. So you better believe that's where I'm shorting a firm to be sure. There is a 33 break that's lingering. here at the bottom. Those bottom breaks, they can tend to be a little bit tricky. There's room to go. I am going to take it just because I feel compelled to take every short that sets up in a firm until it doesn't. So I'll be in it, but those are always tight stops. Shorting at the bottom in a down market, I always try to keep it tight. And those better levels that I like a little further back, that 34.70, that's when you want to give it a little bit more room and have more confidence, I've found, in those. But a firm, I'm going right back to that well until it burns me.
All right, let's bring in Arun here and get a check of the overall market. As we said, the headlines continue to come fast and furious here. We give back that early gain, Arun, on this note that the U.S. May go ahead and ban Russian oil. Meanwhile, oil, huge move back to the upside. What do we need to know today?
Yeah, huge move on crude up to the north of 125 now. When I sat down, I was looking at it, it was around 122, and then I saw it take off. And with that goes the market, right? So the market was down in the 90s at that point, 41.90-ish area. I'm still looking for a breakdown through there. If we can get through that 85 area, I think we can go for some shorts. For now, though, I'm going to keep both sides open. I'm looking for the short, but at the same time, if we can get above about 42.15 and stabilize, there might be a long in place. So you box it in, 42.15 up top, 41.85 down below. Whichever side it goes, I'll go with that direction. For the time being, that's the read. Obviously, this can change as more news headlines come out, and we may have to adjust the risk profile a little bit. But for now, 41.85 by 42.15, box it in, see what we got. In terms of levels to the upside, I've got 4,300. So anything from 42.60 all the way up to 4,300 is a decent resistance level. So maybe potential fades in there with the short. And then that 41.25 areas held overnight. I mean, we got as low as looks like 30 something, 39 or so. So 41.25 is still in play as a potential buy zone. So anything from 41.50 going on down to 41.25 is available for a long. In the event we get down there, it could also set up a double bottom, right? We've already been close to 25 with the 40. So if we were to rotate again, you may have a double bottom there, but that zone's there. We need the setup. In the event that we get through these 85s, you're going to look for it to go down through there into those 40s and set it up on the long side. I wouldn't rush into a long, especially with this type of market. When it starts going, it starts going. We saw a 100-point move yesterday from the open to the close. It was selling all day, nonstop. For the most part, it was aggressive selling anyway. So if we're going to, and that's all started at 9:30. So after the market opens. So this is what I'm waiting for today as well. What are we going to bring to the table once the market opens? Because it was very telling yesterday on how we were trading, because up until 9:30, we were moving up, and then we did a complete shift straight to the downside. So are we going to do that again today? And that's what I'm watching out for. But we do have that 41.85 by 42.15 levels to work with in the event this market decides to go either direction.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. Best of luck. Yeah, very orderly as well all day long to the downside yesterday. We'll see how things pan out here. Wanted to mention this before we jump into everything else you need to know this morning. GM CEO Mary Barra on CNBC earlier this morning talking about teaming up with PG on some home-related EV work. They're also launching a new premium import business in China. So throw GM on a chart somewhere that you can keep an eye on this morning. I mean, it hasn't really done anything on that news, but heads up on GM for today. Let's go. That's the watch list, guys. We'll get right into what you need to know this morning. If you need that link, absolutely free to you every single morning before we come on. Miss V will help you out in the chat with that link. Oil, top of the list this morning, continues to be top of mind. I mean, here we go back to the downside. Just came in $1.50, guys, on crude.
Yeah, we've been looking at crude, and right now crude back down to 124. We do have it on our screen right now. It's just taking out VWAP to the downside. So we have seen XOM pull back a little bit. We're getting out of some of our CEI near the top. I mean, I don't think it's anything to worry about right now, but you do have that possible. I mean, it looks like they're going to ban it. I mean, we have to wait to see what happens in the EU and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Russian banning crude import now from, U.S. banning from Russia. So it creates a little bit of a bump up here. You can see the 8 a.m. move from 121 up to 125. These moves seem silly now because it's like, wow, oil's up another 4%. Like it used to be, it used to be a monster type of thing. But before we go on with anything here, I do want to throw it over to Valeria because I did see a super chat, Ms. V.
That's right, Sean. I would love to say thank you to the Hungry Joe and to Jamie himself for sending super chats. Just want to show some appreciation for everyone on the team. What other TV show can you watch that makes you money? Guys, if you also find our show entertaining and helpful, please don't mind the like button and smash it right now. And now let's go back to Brandon.
Yeah, let's continue along, guys. Want to continue the thought there on some of these oil plays for today?
Yeah, going back to, well, actually, good point we talked
Nice one.
A good point with Miss V coming on there. Happy International Women's Day. Let's remember that and thank all of the women in the chat and in our lives because, hey, we wouldn't be here without them. So forgot to do that at the opening of the show.
Yeah.
That's a bit of
Yeah.
a bit of a mistake. You know, it's one of these things that happens live, like that oil ban. You're sitting there doing your prep, and then all of a sudden news like that hits, and you're adjusting everything on the fly. So that's all that happened. I'm with you. I know you just talked about the dips that came back in. I missed a chance to reload. I got up to refresh a coffee and take a little bit of a break. But yeah, I mean, we've scalped some out on Oxy, and I want to try to be holding this just to see if you can get one last parabolic move up. I understand we had a pretty bearish candle yesterday on the daily. Like, you're usually going to look at that and say it's a consolidation day or a pullback, but there is a catalyst here, and sometimes that's just part of the game. So I get it, anybody that came in and you were thinking about being bearish on oil, but you know, this type of news, if it's been this strong before, I just think we have to try riding. And then the thing to consider with some of these higher flyer names, like 9, which I'm also in, you know, I'm gonna be looking at things like $9, $10, you know, those even dollar ranges, maybe for potential reverses, shorts, other opportunities to play breakouts as more of a scalp style play. But Oxy, like, I'd rather, if we can hold that breakout price, I'd rather just sort of be sitting in that one and letting it ride. Whereas I feel like these smaller cap names might lend themselves to a little bit extra trading. I've decided to go 9 for the long and some of the clean energy names. There's a couple that might set up if they can break out for some short plays. But you know, sort of pick and choose your poison, right? Like, understand what type of a play you want to make, and then from there, pick the right stock that fits you. So if you're looking for those pure momentum, chance of a halt, 10, 20, 30% type movers, you're probably going to want to be looking at your CEIs and your 9s, and maybe not Indo. That's a little bit crazier of a stock, IMPPs of the world. But if you're just looking, okay, let's play the momentum, watch oil futures like a hawk and maybe some key levels, I think you go to the big caps for that type of trade. Just understand what it is that you want to accomplish for your own strategy.
Speaking of IMPP, back to session highs here. Just actually took out highs on decent volume, so a bit of a rotation happening volume-wise through this. Alibaba just popping up on volume there to the downside. In fact, popping down, I guess I should say. Broke 100 on this note. Looks like they're going to delay the Ant Group IPO a little bit longer. So heads up on Alibaba. I mean, not directly related, but kind of directly related there for Alibaba. Let's continue along. Do the banks get a bounce today? That's going to be an interesting question here. As we said, you know, the 10-year 1.7 are below 1.7 at one point yesterday. We're back to 1.85, 1.86. CPI data for February coming up on Thursday morning this week.
Trying to open up a new chart here because I lost my oil one on this e-signal and it's not working. Look at CEI, guys, 168 now. Like, let's go. What a big trade this has been for me here already today. But we sort of did these things yesterday on Bed Bath & Beyond, and it came back in. I'm actually waiting at 69 right now on CEI. But yeah, JP Morgan, some dude, I guess, I'll find out who it was, just came out, and JP Morgan Chase Rohrbarer, I don't know, that's obviously not pronounced right, says that quarter to date revenue down 10% from last year for JP Morgan. Rest of revenues uncertain, ramification on recent news. They, you know, so it's just, it's just going to continue to be ugly for these names as the 10-year continues. I mean, I don't know. I heard rumors that the 10-year may be getting to almost 3% at some point. We'll see if regionals can make a little bit of money on that. But JP Morgan hit, obviously, with some of this Russian talk. The banks have been getting absolutely destroyed. I mean, I don't know what's going on with all these dark prints here, but we can't get rid of them. You're down to 128 off of a 170 high. We got out of JP Morgan. We did rotate into Goldman Sachs, which has been a little bit better than this, but still, these banks continue to get hit, and I feel like it's a short until it's a long, but I don't know. Maybe we do have some cover down here at 128. Yesterday's bottom was that 128.70, so I feel like if you take that down, then we can go short. So that's really the play here. I think JP Morgan seems to be the worst of them all. I know there's Citigroup and there's different names, but like I said, you don't really want to be looking at them all. So I think yesterday's break right there for JP Morgan down at 128.75 here should be shorted. And again, I'm only picking it because Rohrbaugh, maybe is his name, came out and is talking a little bit right now. So we'll see there about JP Morgan. Citigroup is probably very, very similar. Let's see if it's up or down today. Citigroup is up a little bit more, so they're up double of what JP Morgan is, and you're already sort of near those lows again of $55, I guess, coming for Citigroup. So yeah, I would stay short, but I'm enamored right now with this CEI up to 168. I'm actually offering 69, like we said. So we'll see if it can get up there. But right now, that's what I'm looking at. And I think banks are short. I wouldn't go long quite yet.
Yeah, there might have been an opportunity at some point this morning if things had gone a different way for a relief rally today in the banks. And it felt like that was going to be the case. But like I said, we were talking about it at the beginning. Those all went out the window when we had the turn back to the downside. So I'm no longer looking for breaks. If anything, I think that 57 on Citigroup, which might have been the breakout price, would have been now like a resistance level to get behind. But I got plenty of other names that I think I like to the short side today, in some of the tech and some of the high flyers that I think could be a little bit more fruitful. But you've got to be able to just sort of change gears, right? Like, when I sat down, I knew I'd be looking at 9 maybe and IMPP and INDO. I didn't know that I'd want to be an Oxy pre-market until the news came out. And sometimes you've just got to be able to adjust on the fly.
All right, let's go to Bed Bath & Beyond quickly here for BBBY, down off of the close from yesterday, but we are still holding the low from yesterday in the pre-market here, which is obviously still a big bump from these levels from back on Friday. On that Ryan Cohen note, is there a trade here today?
Well, I would have thought, and maybe if it wasn't for the news that came in, I would have thought coming in here 22.23, like the afternoon, like it closed at 21.70 and pulling up the 15-minute chart if you guys can see there. And there were some, I guess, like dump off points at the bottom at that 22 to 23 area, and then maybe a short the pop would have been in play right at the open. If it breaks 23, maybe it's got some second legs and has a day 2 squeeze in it, but it's just been grinding away from that now. Like it would actually have to go up 10% from here to get to that resistance point. So, if we get any kind of legs off the open, maybe I'll go ahead and pay for the short, thinking that that's the type of play, and then it would have to break 23 to maybe get that squeeze. Otherwise, I think you're just looking right back. I mean, could it hold yesterday's low? Would it likely hold a consolidation all the way back to like 17, where this was just barcoding? I would definitely think so. But we're far enough away from that if it comes down to that price, we'll have plenty of time to jump in. I just can't see any way it sells past that number, right? Like at the end of the day, activist investor comes in, I would expect it to at least hold above that 16 to 17 area, and I'd be absolutely shocked if it couldn't do that on any kind of a flush. But any ideas I had to the short side were about $2 higher from here, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're testing any of those.
Yeah, I mean, the same short levels would be the same breakout levels. So, I mean, if you're going to be here, I think you got to watch out for this 22.25. I mean, it's the same talk. It's just one is going to go long, one's going to go short. And again, down another 8%. They did have a nice rally into the close there. So this is the area of concern for me. Obviously, it's going to be $22. So if you go long here, I think you take some out at 22. That's 10%. That's fantastic. And again, remember, like, why would Bed Bath & Beyond move 10% today? The move happened yesterday, and it was faded all day. So we hit it. We were still positive at the end of the day, and it was my #1 stock, despite trying so many longs. But this is what you have to do with this stock, right? In here, we take like multiple dollars on the longs, and then then every time we tried a long, we got clapped out for like 30, 40, 50 cent hits, right? So of course they add up. If you take one $5 winner, then 10 50-cent hits, as long as you're using the same shares, you'll lose, minus fees and so on and so forth. But that's not what we were doing. We were able to stay positive on this stock yesterday. So again, the NASDAQ is bouncing. It's not, can't figure out what it wants to do. So for me, we wait, and we just wait for Bed Bath & Beyond to do something. Either takes down this 1920, like Neil was saying, or we rip to the high side and break through 2250. So I think it's crazy to play it in between. So you got to wait for one or the other to happen. And again, if there's no volume, like by this time yesterday, we were in the millions, obviously, and today we're at 300,000 with volume. Look at CEI, 71. Guys, let's go today, man. The cash register goes brr today, and we are just kind of like me right now. It's freezing in here. I'm gonna go check if that door's open. That door's getting closed in about a couple seconds. So that's that. But okay, so CEI just killing it right now for me. XOM, guys, the same thing, is in the money, 40 cents. This has been a big open, and we haven't even talked about some of the other names that we want to hit. Let's just quickly look before we pass it back. 9, the biggest imbalance here. Neil's already been on that. We're already on XOM. I'm actually waiting. I canceled my 88888. I'm going to 88866 now. So we'll see if we get something out there. DD, there's actually not that much on here, to be honest with you. I mean, Oxy's there, which maybe you're looking at. That's a buy. I don't know what else people are looking at on here. XOM and 9. I mean, I don't see that much. But at 925, we're going to get the NASDAQ. There it is. So there it was. We just got some out there as well. So imbalance locator doesn't look super spicy yet here today, guys.
Just confirming with Randy, Sean, the air conditioning is on. It's March 8th, and the air conditioning is on. And the air conditioning is on, if we didn't mention. Apple event today. Let's talk about Apple here. They're going to allegedly announce a new SE, iPhone SE, at 1 p.m. today. These types of events, when there's a intraday or intra-session type of events for any kind of stock, typically doesn't give you an opportunity until then. So if they come out and disappoint, or maybe it's more exciting than everyone thought, it might give you an opportunity. But worth noting, Apple at 1 p.m. today.
Yeah, look, it's always one of those make sure you watch it. Apple has sort of famously on this show been like that last. It's like the last man standing, right? It's the only thing. Maybe it's not the only thing, but it's one of the only things in big tech that's actually holding its 200 period. I know we say it over and over again until it doesn't, which maybe that's what's going to happen in this if we get another leg down here. But for now, it's been bouncing pretty nicely off the 153. I think in Apple's case, finally you can detach it from the market in the afternoon when they have the event. And the way I usually would look at it is maybe you get a spike going into the event, and then sort of count the clock down after they've announced a few things, and start looking for a possibility to scalp short some of those as it gets usually maybe sold off on some of that news. And look, I understand everyone wants to be looking at all of these names, and I get it. HUSA is going, and I'm going to pop to it. Do I wish I'd gone long HUSA instead of 9? Yeah, of course, because if I take the equivalent break on HUSA, it's just gone more than 9. But, a winner's going to be a winner, and you don't necessarily have a crystal ball. We were trading HUSA yesterday. I didn't trade 9. Today I trade 9 instead of HUSA. But it's just off to the races. They're all off to the races. If anyone had known $2 that these were going to start doing this, obviously we would have all loaded up on it. HUSA did have a big pullback in the afternoon off of 14. I think you're looking at 20, 25 halts for a lot of these names, but these are going absolutely crazy. I did get into that TMC in front of that $2. So it looks like that one. TMC is actually it's not one of these energy names. This is one of the materials names and the mining names that are actually up. And they're starting to pull back in. It's a day one, so I want to try to buy the dip first around that $2 level. I just got it into 07s and see if it can't sort of retest some of those highs, first 25s, and then up to like a 250. Looks like they're starting to come off. We haven't actually seen these go yet, so they don't really fall in the bucket of, hey, you've been going long and they've been running for you every single day just yet. This is the first real day that this one is breaking out, which is why I applied the buy the dip instead of trying to take any breakouts at the top. Just felt like a bit of a safer play.
Oh yeah, TMC. That was another one there. And I'm just noticing here. I know we've talked a lot about CEI. I'm in a third, so I have a third left of CEI. We just got a nice little print there at 73 before it's falling back in right now. So I would just watch out for this 160. And I don't want to get out of like these names, but we're in the money. We're long at $1.50 right now, and I worry about profit taking coming in a little bit here, and that seems to be what's happening. So get ready as this market's getting ready to open. This could flush a little bit, and if it does, we don't want to be holding the bag. So I think we're going to get out a little bit more here of CEI, and we did get out of some of our XOM, like we said as well. So we only have a third of XOM left and a third of CEI left here, Brendo.
All right, active for some of the payment companies here in the pre-market. This was the headline that kind of kicked that off this morning. Both Visa and MasterCard announcing they're going to raise fees. So credit card fees specifically going to go up starting, I think it's effective immediately, but Visa and MasterCard both did pop up on that, but have faded right back down, not really doing much. We talked a little bit briefly yesterday, guys, about the continued weakness in the rest of the space. I mean, AXP got crushed yesterday. There's Square, there's PayPal, so weakness continues here.
I'm really flabbergasted.
That's a new one.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not bad. By this move in AXP. I mean, honestly, it's like, wow. This was the best name for me. I'm not in it. This is a great opportunity to get in it. The only problem is your boy doesn't have any money. I would be buying this name right now, easily. I wouldn't buy any banks. I wouldn't buy. You know what? Scratch this. I think I'm going to get out of I'm going to get out of Goldman Sachs, honestly, and switch over to AXP. Or, well, I have a little bit of cash I can deploy, but we did sell some Nucor the other day, which may or may not have been a mistake. We sold it at 138. I think it's 137 today. Well, let me see on the other chart here. Nucor. Oh no, what am I talking about? Nucor down to 131. Ooh, that was a good sell. Okay, but there it is. Just like, let me show you this. So you see this, so this is a downward momentum, obviously, to the downside. We've taken out the 200, we've taken out this. AXP, to me, is the best of the best, and it's just because, again, I feel like on a reopen, a lot of people are going to be throwing out those black cards. They don't have as much problem with bad debt as the other cards do as well. But you see how this is definitely a bottom here? It looks like all the way back to August. No, I'm done calling bottoms. I mean, how are the other bottoms working out, right? But you can see we do have some support down here at 145. They do pay a dividend. But look, I was just talking about Nucor. Shout out to Austin, who said, Austin got out at 125 and was feeling pretty bad about that play. But I mean, look, this is almost the same thing. You see here, Nucor had these tops here at 125, right? So you had these 125 tops before breaking upside a little bit. We got out some at 138 of a third. And I just feel like this looks almost like that AXP where you're in these ranges, right? You get a dip buy back down here at 95. You can get it out at 125. AXP, something kind of similar, where right now you're getting dip buy opportunities down here at 155. Maybe if on a little bit of a rally, on some kind of a relief rally, maybe we get this back out at 185. So you do have, $30 to play with here. And I feel like the downside into this one, maybe this needs a little bit more room, but I think if this can come to like 155, especially on a day like today, if the market crashes, which it's not, we're going back green, you could get AXP down here between 150 and 155 for me. That's my choice. I know Neil has Square up, so I'm just going to quickly go to Visa just to show you that the pain is in all of the credit card companies. Not just AXP. You can see MasterCard had a high of 255 down here to Visa down to 191 and playing off some similar levels. So I don't know where our money is safe right now, but I do know it's pretty safe in my pocket unless I go to Tim Hortons.
What's wrong with Tim Hortons, man?
I'll spend my money. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying,
I'll spend it on donuts there. Although I
want a free donut.
I was in
yesterday.
Tim Hortons this morning, and the temptation. Brendan knows. I saw, and I did not buy a single thing. So, yeah, good on me for not getting an apple fritter. It's not an easy thing to do. It's the first time I've actually been in a Tim Hortons and not come out with a pastry in probably about a decade. But I'm going to talk about Square. I'm going to talk about Block. Whatever, man. It's Square. If it's SQ, it's still Square. But this 100 level. It's tried to bounce off it a couple times, big breakout. I just want to first try to fade off it. It might have been 102 when I sat down, but the market ticked down on us here. So I was thinking about 102 at the end of the day yesterday that was going to be the level on the 15-minute that I wanted to fade in front of on a red day. Instead, it's going to be 100. I'm on the offer in front of it. I'll give it a few pennies, 50 cents or so past that level, just in case we get craziness at the open. We're very likely to, and there's just so much room to the downside if we break down. And I get it. Look how far it's depressed. If it can rehold that 100, there's a bit of a relief chance there. I understand that altogether, but I'm just not going to be going against the grain. Fight it if you have to, but it has to start breaking back out. Take out 102 and then talk to me about the long on that. I did get into that TMC at 07, like I mentioned. I do have a couple of offers, just if we get one of those spikes at the open and then it fades off 250. I want to make sure I'm taking some profit. So in front of 20s and then out in front of 40s, and then I'll try to reload in front of 2 if I can. 9 also made a bit of a N-I-N-E. I should know how to spell 9. Just made a bit of a dip back into 7, so I took a chance to reload and scalp some out there for about 30 cents. I keep wanting to take profit in case we get one of those capitulations. If we break through 675, I just feel like you're getting 6 if you still like the long. So this has not been as strong as HUSA, and I can't ignore the fact that that's just what it is at this point. So it was a good break, but it was not extending the way that some of these other ones, like IMPP, some of these other names were extending a little bit further. Oxy I've taken profit on as well. Just going to hold on to the last third going into the open. I mentioned Affirm, but you got to stick to the names that work. Affirm and Square are the 2 short the pop plays in big cap that I have. I'm not willing to do anything past those at 930. You don't want to overextend yourself. Already in 3 positions here. Yeah. And then I expect at the open,
CEI.
Some of these things might start to go.
CEI going again here. Okay, we'll talk about big. We've already talked. Look at CEI go. Okay. All right. So we're already in or not already in AMD, but we could talk about this 100 level. We talked about this January bottom here on the sticky note. It actually coincides. I didn't even pull it this far back to September, October, but it's all right here. It's 99.30. It's these bottoms. I think that's going to be a big risk spot here for AMD. I want it to hold, obviously, 100. I think we'll test a hold through 100. But honestly, I might. You know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait for this 99.30 to break. I don't want it to break, and I'm hoping that the market can hold up. But we've seen this happen so many times in the NASDAQ where, comes down up, hovering around, gives us this head fake right at the open. We may retest up here somewhere, who knows, and then the fade could come through. So we're going to watch out for AMD. We traded it yesterday. It was a pretty decent trade yesterday. We did get caught up. Look how many trades we made. The only mistake for me yesterday was exactly what I'm talking about right now, taking out that high on a rip of the NASDAQ. So that was the problem. And then we just started buying it. And look, buy down here, out. So that was a good little move to the upside. And then in the afternoon, we finally stopped buying it around, 2 o'clock or something? Yeah, right around here. 3 o'clock, actually, where we tested good, bad. So, AMD was fine for us yesterday. This was the only mistake really on AMD was that early push. We're not going to do that again today. So let's watch out. Normally I'd say this is basically what we did yesterday. It just ripped up. We took out this 103 and then it tanked back down and we wound up having to hold that position. So we're going to wait now, maybe a 101.50 break. But again, I'm really excited about that 99.30 January bottom if and when. Wow, look at oil. By the way, XOM right now, that's another name that just ripped. We're $1 in the money on XOM here as that's going to touch 89. We're long 88 flat right here. So big time wins going through. And then CEI, I was saying, wow, it just went up to 70. That's it. I thought it was going a little bit higher. We already got that 73 print, but there it is stopping at 70 one more time. So watch out. We are now a little bit less. We're in about 28%. Of our position. So Brenda, what up?
Keep in mind, 10:45, guys. Biden going to speak, no doubt, on oil. So keep that in mind. We'll let you know when that happens. BCEL. This is about day 3 after this move going back to last week. Gave you a great opportunity yesterday. It was hard to borrow, but heads up on BCEL 330 and then 350. We'll have a look at. There's a couple of earnings as well worth noting. Woof Petco. One of those. Also,
woof.
Yeah, woof. Also, DKS. DKS we mentioned as well.
Was that Randy?
I don't know, probably. Randy's got the creativity over there. But I just want to say, Neil's already mentioned it, but obviously, again, happy International Women's Day. You can see that, Deuces right here. She got silver, by the way, on her competition on Friday. So we were really proud of her. What's up? And you can obviously see that my daughter doesn't get her looks from me. So happy International Women's Day, and a big shout out to you as well, Miss V. Thanks for all the work that you have, and we are going to be putting it out on Twitter. A big thank you to every female guest we've had on, CEO. They're helping change the world, and let's just keep on rocking and rolling with good thoughts today for all of the women in our lives. And a shout out also to my mother and grandmother, everybody that's involved, my aunts, whatever. We can just keep going. But any female that's impacted, I think, both of our lives. Obviously.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about here. We're celebrating the wins, losses, opportunities as well. Sticky Hands, I see what you just said in the chat. Look, man, if oil gets to $300 a barrel, we got other problems. I think I read something very similar today, but that came out of it was a Russian diplomat that threw that number out there. So I'm not going to hold too much credence to it. We got a minute until the open here. A lot is moving. I did take some of that TMC out. The only one that's going to be of concern of the three positions I'm in. Remember I said 9 is not as relatively strong, so I did just get another scalp. This has that Bed Bath & Beyond feeling that if it takes 675, it might hunt a little bit lower here. Oxy's trying to take out 58, it looks like. So that's about, 57. It looks like, 58, that's right. It's about $1 in the money. I wanted one more push before that open trade. And I wasn't really thinking we'd be getting a Tesla opportunity this morning. I doubt it's going to happen. We're just barcoding back and forth off that 800 number in both directions here. So it's not very clean. 820 to 825 looks like the first resistance.
Jeez.
We're already at the open. I mean, Ms. V's in the all black, which has been a good sign before.
Yes.
First day back from her trip was in the all black, and that worked out well. You're going to need it today, possibly. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, Ms. V.
Good one.
Rally.
Let's get some baseball thoughts going on as well. Hopefully the baseball can
figure it out.
At some point, figure their out.
You can say it.
I don't know if I can or not. Okay, so Neo looking. It's not open yet. This is going to be very dangerous. I don't know if I want to punch the short here if it's not open, so I'm going to cancel that. We are getting close. I do want the 18 short. So it's not open yet on the New York, so I'm not going to take it without that. So that's that. Okay, CEI is coming back in. We talked about that. We just took a little piece out right as the market opened up, so we got to watch out for CEI coming back a little bit to 160, but who knows where this name will eventually stop. So CEI right now, a little bit of rock and rolling right here, back up to 65, 66. So we're watching that. XOM as well, blowing upside here, up through $1 now, more than $1 in the money on this trade, XOM, guys.
And that's sort of the thing. Like if you're sitting in the money, so that when the whipsaw action happens at the open, you can be a little bit more calm. I was waiting for Square to see if there was a pop and fade. Not much happening except it's sliding to the downside. So I'm still in front of that 100 level. And the thing about 930, you know there's been crazy volatility. Be patient with it. Some of these things might have to wait a beat before they move. Affirms the same thing at 34.70. So we are being rather calm with it. That HUSA, that just pulled back a tiny bit. $2.50 from the top, and it looks like it's going to halt down. So that just ticked 9 out for me as HUSA's coming back in heavily, guys. TMC is at 225. I might take another leg out after watching some of these roll over. Whoa, forget about it.
We talked about rug pulls.
That was crazy. That was not a rug pull. I was about to actually take some out at 230 on TMC, and then it popped to 240. That's a huge spike and then fail at the high of the day there. So I'm going to try to hang on to this one through a possible top break, but I was about to take some out at 230 when that just spiked on me. But a bit of a rug pull on some of these names here. Getting crazy, guys.
Oh, man, we should have. We had Neo dead to rights there, and normally I take that, but we've been hit on moves like that before, and unfortunately, there goes Neo. We did write it down. It's on the sticky note, short 18. Unfortunately, the market opens up for us, and it was right at 18, and that's happened to me too many times where I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden the market opens up. You get down ticked, and then it's like, see you later to the downside, but we will short a little bit here off 85, and then see where we go on this name. It did go down as low as we just shorted it. It just went to 7. 72 on that play. So we'll watch out for this. I don't really want to be short here. It's a starter position, but if we could take 10, 15, 20 pennies on it, we'll do that. And then maybe we will average in back if it comes up to this 1820, 1850, and then eventually we want to watch out for 19. But again, we're not just going to sit here short as this rips our face off. We're enough about NEO that we know where this thing goes. So let's watch out for that. AMD is approaching lower lows here, trying to break through that 102, and here it goes right now. You got to watch out for this 101.50 here on AMD, and there it goes. NEO going back to the downside. Here we go. It's crack city right now. I'm going to take a 101.50 short, I believe, on this.
Yeah, and I just watched TMC take out 250. Try to get to 55s here and then start to pull back. I don't want the rug to get pulled on me. But while that was happening, the energy rug, and we were just looking for that nice squeeze off of the open. We did mention this could be the end game. So that's what happened in Oxy just there. I got a reload in front of 56 and then immediately got triggered out. Just did not like what I saw. When you get a fill into a wick like that, that's not usually the way that you want to catch a bid. So I wanted to settle down here. We'll take the quick out and look to see if it can consolidate for a bit of a buy back into this. And then there goes 33 on a firm.
33.
I know,
Jeez.
Of course. Look, there were two trades I wanted, 34.70. Yeah, right. As if I'm going to get that price again. To the short side, that was in front of that 35 from yesterday. And then the 33 break on the 15-minute chart. So I am now short into a firm. I want to give it a beat just in case it wants to hang around here for a while. Actually going to take a few more shares there because I can actually get a full fill. But 33, got the short at 95s. We'll give it some room, maybe back to like 33.30. But if it breaks immediately back to the upside, I don't want to be caught with a fail break when I think the better idea is short in front of that 35 even. But the fade is starting to come in here. Looks like TMC might have been the right call to take it all out in front of that 255, but it's still trying to hold higher. At this point, the materials and metal names look like they're going to have some strength in it. That HUSA halt, like when that halted downside, it was immediately like 9 comes right back in. Even the Oxy came right back in there as well. Market's still looking like it wants to roll over here, guys, but I'm not seeing too much that's holding the highs outside of this TMC. I'm going to assume maybe PLM held up as well.
Okay, so we're just, we're dancing with the same positions we've had here. CEI, so we did take out some, unfortunately, at 158. We did crack that 50 period, and we were like a little nervous about it because we did get down to 156. But now, no more offers, guys, until the 70s on CEI. So let's just see if it does get that momentum back up to the upside. We want to make sure that we're part of this game. So we're going to have to hold this. CEI right now, we are only in 20% left. So we did get out of 10% there since the open. We'll try to hold it. There goes XOM. Let's go. Trying to take out 89. It just did that. It's bouncing off VWAP right now. I do have an out around 88.50 for the 50 cents. Disappointing stock of the day already. I already know it. It's going to be NEO. We are short. It's fine. We're making money. There's no problem with it. Okay, the NASDAQ is spiking like crazy right now. Let's test an AMD long. So we'll go AMD long right now. Maybe we'll get out of this NEO as the NASDAQ's starting to spike up a little bit here. So let's get out of this. Look at CEI going, guys. 70s now, 73. Just like we said, let's go, let's go, let's go. What's up? He said ready for Chelsea, so I'm going to assume that's Brendan.
Of course it is. Randy's here today, if you didn't know. Bed Bath & Beyond, guys, big volume spike there back to 21. We were talking about these levels up here. So the initial move, anyways, positive for BBBY.
Bang, right there.
Not
Let's
the 22 yet, though.
AMD. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say like 22, 23. That's that price area for me on Bed Bath & Beyond. If it can get there, that's going to be the interesting one. Remember we said Oxy, give it a beat. Yeah, this is why, right? Like if you just hang on to it, it comes all the way back down to pre-market lows. So, yep, that'll be a go for me if I can catch. Oh, give me a break. I just threw the order in. There we go. Just able to pick some up there. And again, like you can try holding on, but forget about it. If it wants to retest lower to 55, then I'm going to wait till the absolute bottom, or at least where I interpret it might be, to dig back into a long position. You can always be a little bit more patient at these opens, and because if it starts going, the price that you think is a pipe dream, you could be staring that in the face like 30 seconds later. And that's exactly what ended up happening here in Oxy. So I'm glad I've waited for this and sort of saved myself the extra $1 to that downside. A firm, it did pop. I tried to catch more. It went to 33.50. I tried to catch more on a rollover. I wasn't able to get it. That's now back below that 33 level. But I did try to get the curl on a firm, but things move so fast at this time. Sometimes you miss it if you wait for it to start coming back in.
This is ridiculous. We got out of some NEO. We're still going to be fine on NEO. It's really cashing in right now to the downside there. It just touched 62s there on NIO. We'll see if we can hold this. But look at that. Look at that. This is like the sniper move, which is why we hit that. We hit diamond hands. We didn't mean to do that. That was not diamond hands. The opposite of that. We get in. Oh man, we just punched in, and that's why we have different levels set on our, wow, 50 cents now, 40 cents now in the money on CEI. Man, I'm stupid for not holding that. But you can see right now, AMD, look at this. We just take that trade at 102.45 when we saw the NASDAQ bump up. We got $1.15 there on AMD. $1 in 15 seconds. So, hey, man, we know where the strength is in this market. It's just, can the market hold up itself? That's really the question that I have. So we'll go right now to Brendo.
New targets coming out here, guys, from Oslo-based consultancy agency saying, yep, get ready for $200 per barrel oil. Could happen, according to these analysts, guys.
Yeah, like you're getting all kinds of crazy numbers getting thrown out there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like this, like I said, the 300 number that came out of a Russian from what I was able to read at least this morning. But like, that reversal, thank goodness we waited till 55 because 55 just went on Oxy. That's going to get stopped out. The rug pull is definitely on. The market's getting a bit of a bid here, which is now that I'm in a firm, you have to look at what's going on. And while I'm getting that spike, I just want to quickly pull up, if I can. This is the NASDAQ. So as you're getting whipsaw action on some of these names, and I look at Square only going to the downside. Yeah, look at this. We're essentially not really moving anywhere. I know we're going absolutely haywire, but you're not getting crazy movement, and Square only goes down. So if you got a short on, which I do have the short in the firm, I want to give it a bit of a pause to note that we're not exactly screaming here. We are getting a bit of a bounce, but we're not screaming on that NASDAQ. So we allow the shorts a bit of breathing room to work. Unfortunately, I never got Square. I got a firm. I'm going to cancel that 100. It's now $7 away. If it spikes and fills me $7 away from here, that's just crazy for me to still want it the same way I did at the open. TMC looks like it's still trying to go here. It's got a nice consolidation, and I want to give it room. Like now that $2 has bounced, maybe you can hold up at VWAP 225 and then take out the top. So this one looks like it still has a chance to get going out of those material names, guys. I know the energy name has started. Some of them have tried to pull back. The material ones, or at least the one I'm looking at, still feel strong.
Jeez, guys. Gronk spike, I guess. Big day for me again here today, man. I mean, we're already at our day's goal. It's 9:39. Look at XOM, $1.50 now in the money on XOM. And again, like I'm just gonna say this over and over again because I want to. It's my show and I'll do what I want. Look at XOM, right? Long 88, done. That's done. Short Neo, short 18. That's done. CEI, long 150. Guys, that's done. That's 50% winner. Well, not 50% winner. 40% winner. AMD right now, watch out. Are we going to stand ground at 100 or are we going to watch out for that 99.50? So that's the only position that really hasn't hit yet. So we're going to go 3 for 3, monster 3 for 3 on the sticky note. And then just watch out, man. Look at that, 95 some outs. Now, we only had 20% left. We are cashing it out now. We only have 10% left on CEI. We took a decent spot out there, a decent spot out there. But these are the longs down here at 145 and 150. So couldn't be happier with the way this is trading today. It's been a big one for us. AMD starting to crack lower. We got in and we got out. So we're going to have to watch here for the short through this 150. It looks like we're fading one more time. What's up, Brendo?
ENSV, another one here, just taking out day highs, guys. Huge volume came in at 6 there, so was a little bit quieter than the rest until the open and just exploded for ENSV.
Well, anytime you guys ask us, I'll try to accommodate as much as I can. MARPS, 29.87 indicated open price for these halts. We get it piped into our feed, so we're able to see on our level 2. Now saying it's going to open at 30, but a lot of these names have made those halts. HUSA, which had already halted once, it reopened. It's trying to retake some of these levels to the upside, but it looks like the flush is still on with that particular name. I'm going to go back over to Square because as it continues to, well, I know it actually bounced a little bit off of that 93. As it tries to make this bounce, I want to make a judgment call because it could be 98s instead of 100. It was 102 when I sat down. It was 100 by the time of the open. And now I'm looking at the 98 level because the market is starting to fade back in a little bit on the NASDAQ. You basically have a 100-point range that it's just whipsawing back and forth. So you don't want to get chopped up in that range if you can try to avoid it. If you're checking back in on Tesla, which if you're trading any of the EV names is going to be of concern to you, that's nowhere near that 800. There was one spike to 99 and then it rolled over. So if you were looking at that right at 931, 932, you had one shot at that 800 level to a short. And 9 that is also halted. So at volatility halt, I got stopped on this and then it bounced off of 6. I thought it was going to 6. I was bidding in front of 6. It went to 633. It's now halted to the upside. So a few of these names halted, probably 5-minute halts. We'll look to see if they can open back up and then get another play in them. But wild action, which is what we anticipated.
Yes, we did. It's J22 here on NYMEX, right? So we're just going to watch out for crude. My other chart, NM. Okay, there it is. Right now, we did just reload. We're going to go to Brendan in a minute, but we just did take another short here in NIO. So we'll see where that's going here. NIO just short one more time at 1785. Let's just keep piecing this one out. What's up, Bren?
Another one of those crazy little mining stocks, HYMC, just popped above $1 and then right back through below it on monster volume. So we saw a few of these start to go yesterday. Looks like day one maybe for HYMC.
So many of these. Is that I think, like I said, you just got to sort of stick to which ones you want. TMC was in that category for me, and it's still looking like it wants to go. That's why we're holding on to it. It's made a bounce now off of VWAP. 225, I think, is more important than VWAP, but whatever, it's VWAP as well. And now I'm looking to see if it can take out that top. The daily, which is finally loading for me. Had trouble looking at this in the pre-market. You're in uncharted territories here on the daily chart. So unless you check up at 275, there's no obvious levels to play off of here. So I'm being really patient. I want to see if it can get to that 275 mark, and then maybe 3. And those even dollars, that's, to me, like if you're going to look for short trades, which at some point I always do in these, you have to look to those evens. 9 has opened back up. It just tested the high of the day at $8 and then immediately reversed. It's going to try to hold this halt price. I'm looking for a break. Now, if we hold this halt at 745, I'm looking for a break of the high of the day. That sits at 818, so an 820 break if we can manage to hold these levels. If it doesn't hold, fair enough. That means there's not going to be trade to be had. But trying to stick to 2 or 3 of these names instead of trying to trade every single one of them feels like the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the exact point that I made in the pre-market, right? Is that like you don't need to trade everything here today. Pick your winners, and I think you'll be pretty happy with what you find. So let's watch this with CEI, still trying to make some moves here, back up to the upside, and that's the only name that we've been looking at, and it's been a monster for me today, to say the least, for that one. Okay, NEO, and again, we're just trying to rehash that. Unfortunately, our AMD, we got it out right here because I wanted to make sure I punched short at 150. So we did give it up. We're still positive on AMD. That's a $1 winner, and that's a 60-cent loser. So we're still up on AMD, but it was half-half, not as much as we should have been. We should have held that. As you can see now, AMD, obviously with the NASDAQ going, I have oil down here as well. So hopefully you can see that percentage. It's 5.4% still to the north side on oil. I was going to say OIH, but that's not that. And then Rivian starting to pop up a little bit. So yeah, and NEO, let's just get some more out. I mean, this has been obviously a horrible name today, and we've known NEO and we like NEO, but yeah, we're just going to keep getting. We just got it out. So we just got another piece out at 65. I mean, how's that reload for you? Let's dap it up. And again, there it is, another call right there off the sticky note for NIO. But like I said, Rivian. Okay, I mean, I'll take another piece out there at 82. Rivian's starting to go up. We're almost out of it now. We will reload this at around 18. But wow, NEO, very, very violent. Like it was just that we just got a 65, and then we just got a 98 short. So yeah, NEO dancing around here. Let's just take out any profits we get on this name, as this is pretty violent. I don't know why it's moving this crazy.
I was going to go to OP for a quick second, but this was the one I did want to fade. It never got to 2. It just turned around at 185. I want to be shorting pops if I can in OP. Rug is getting pulled. Thank you for the super chat, D Queen. CPWR, an electric utilities name, and IPPS. Yeah, man, if you can find sort of energy utility names, anything that's going to work for you. I haven't looked at either one of those, but stick to a lane because there's plenty moving, but you've got to sort of have a specific idea in mind. You can't just jump from one to the other. I like those halts because I have a setup specifically to halt trades, so you can jump from one to the other there. But let's jump to Brendan. He's got something for us.
You are just popping up there on volume. There's SPI, another clean energy name, just popping up on volume. There's USEG as well. The rotation continues here, guys. Look at this volume spike through 11. Monster move here for USEG starting to go now.
I talked about that WWR early, but that's not much of a move there. Okay, so we got to watch out for NEO. We're not we're not going to lose. We are down on it, but or not on this position. But WWR, that's not a huge move, but it's up 5%. Maybe that's a runner. I just saw people talking about it on Twitter earlier, but it doesn't look like that one's getting too much love there. What is getting a hell of a lot of love though is this XOM long. Look at this, man. This is now $2 in the money. So yeah, we'll go diamond hands. Feel like we have him on this play. We only have a third left, but that's a good one, man. We could have got out of this a lot earlier and didn't. So right now, that's going to be a good play for me. I'm pretty happy with that for sure. So that's XOM going to the upside, and good trade for me there. Other than that, we just got to wait for NEO to fade back down a little bit. We did come back into this 18.25. I thought I had an offer, but I guess I didn't. So yeah, this is a good spot to get a little bit more short here for NEO, 18.30, 18.35. I don't think the move is done here to the downside. So let's take advantage of that. And I'm debating getting out of XOM, man. $2 in the money on XOM is pretty good for your boys. So we may do that, but NEO, we should have reloaded it. That one definitely on me, my bad.
Yeah, if you're watching oil futures there, they did make the 125 break, and they are like there is this wick high, like, and it's consolidating at the top. So you are still seeing a breakout. I mean, you know, unless this pulls back, I can't see anything that's working in the oil space. You got to sort of hold on to and make sure you do that. Still not open up in 9. Looks like there's about 1 minute to go, and someone was just asking about Disney to the down. I mean, look, a lot of names have been pushed around here, but with the market coming back up, you're actually seeing Disney fade a little bit. So relative weakness in Disney. It's about to touch this level. Sorry, no, it already broke the 132 support, but that 130, that's your wick bottom in January. Look out below. I mean, it did get below that price by about 50 or 60 cents, so there is a bit of room to run through 130 if it were to take it out. But yeah, watch out below on Disney. That's not a good looking chart there at all. TMC, I just thought was about to give me a reload in front of $2 after it just kind of rug pulled again at 250, but didn't get there. It got to 220. I'm sitting on the bid in front of 2. That's where I want to reload. I'm being really picky about this. I wanted to make sure I'm getting in front of that 2. I might extend it to like 7 to 10 or maybe even like 11 or 12, but I'm not going to get too far away from that price. I'm trying not to get overextended here. I'm on the bid to take a little bit out of a firm, just in case it wants to barcode between 32.50 and 33 even. But I intend on holding this if I can. As long as we don't break out on the NASDAQ, which would be through 13.4, then I want to be holding short a firm as long as I can, Brendo.
A lot of metal prices back to day highs here, including silver. Guys, just saw the SLV ETF. Big volume spike there through day highs, up 3.5 for SLV.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there is a silver squeeze happening right now.
There's always something.
Yeah, there's always something going on. That's for damn sure. Okay, so good hold. So far here on NIO, so we held it. It came back in, but unfortunately we didn't get the reload. NIO continues to make some moves here for us in the right way. Okay, SoFi right here. Looking at that name, we like SoFi. I like SoFi long. It's just I don't know if today's going to be the right day. We've talked about that. We'll see if we can retest some of those bottoms on SoFi. I'm looking to go long. I actually don't want to go short. I think that this 9, somewhere around there should be a good spot for SoFi. What did we just get filled? We just got filled on another NEO order to the downside. Let's watch SoFi here. I mean, on a daily, we're looking to take down, back down here to 930, 932. I mean, I'm trying to stay short on a lot of these names, so I don't necessarily want to go long, but SoFi is going to be on my radar right now for sure. Guys, check out XOM right now. Oil now up 7%. XOM up $2 in the money. $2.50 now in the money. And again, watch us. This is all off of your sticky note today, man. XOM, go long and stay long. That's the trade we gave to you early. There it is, XOM. Nice little runner for us. $2.25 now in the money on that XOM trade. Just wish we had more shares. But hey, that's the trader life.
That's how it's going to be sometimes, right? Like at the end of the day, you've got to put the trade on. You can't look back and sort of regret anything because you can always have more. You can always get a better price. 9 finally opened up 15 seconds late there and is trying to break back to the upside. It's held 620 again, so forget about the line in the sand at 625 looks like it's going to be it for 9. I'm going to jump in front of that level to try and catch a reload, but that might have come and gone. I keep waiting for $6, and I should be willing to pay an extra 20 cents on it. Affirm now rolled through 33 again, so that's almost $1 in the money, and I want to hold on to it. I think 30. Look, if the market heads down, 30 on a firm just feels like it's inevitable, whether it's this week. Hopefully, I'm thinking it's going to be today, obviously. Brendo?
Initial report on the U.S. banning Russian imports of oil. Guys said that they were going to go it alone. There's a few reports floating around now suggesting the UK will also jump on the bandwagon. At the end of the day yesterday, It didn't sound like that was going to happen, but a few people saying now the UK will, in fact, go ahead with these bans as well.
That's where it's big, because if everyone else jumps onto that, it's a much bigger deal.
We're happy with that. We are long, obviously, and that's what I said. We're going to wait to see what the UK and EU does, and there it is. So there's the news. Thank you for that one as well. Spot gold. What up, Peter Schiff? How you doing, my friend? He's probably loving life right now. You know, XOM, a big move up. Gold up 2% today as well. You can check out the GLD, another name to look at here for spot gold. I mean, if you don't have access to the commodity market, you can always trade ETFs. That's, I think, you know, some people don't like ETFs. It does give, you know, different exposures. Well, things like that, and can help blow some of these moves out because ETFs, you know, need to buy and allocate. But anyways, GLD is not one of those names because it's just a gold ETF. So you can see gold starting to go up. There's that 2%, a nice little move for them. Gold, obviously, finally moving to the upside after years of stagnant growth. And I shouldn't say that because I don't have a gold chart in front of me for years, but we talked about this a little bit. It has underperformed, but in this environment, man, gold, energy seems to be king, commodities as well. So there it is, man. Nice little move upside for GLD. I'm not trying to hate on gold. I do own some gold, obviously not way under on everything and way over in tech. So smart I am. But there we go. GLD to the upside, 190, a nice little 2% move. So congratulations to all you gold bugs out there. Nice move.
Yeah, and look, I understand. I see someone asking about Oxy on at 170. That's been a play for me with 150, 155. But each of the times I took the Oxy short, it was off of oil sort of consolidating and reaching a high, right? So there's no setup. Just because it's at that even dollar level doesn't mean it's an automatic short trade. I want to see a level off and a pullback, or at least something indicating that that oil futures are slowing down. That's what I got each time I took the trade before. 9 has now held at 6. I don't think I'm going to get those bids, so I keep trying to go long in front of 6 even. But because it held that support, it's now back set up after it reopens for potential top break. So that's going to be back in the cards for me. 818 is that current high. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take a little bit more out of a firm if we can. Whoops. You have to move away from 9 before I do that. So we're going to go back over to a firm. Oh, I just got hit on the bid, so we'll do that for a firm. As yeah, like it's. Sometimes just go back to the well. I never got Square this morning for the short trade. Firm did come in. Those are the 2 that I was looking at. We tried to keep it to 2. I got 1. Unfortunately, Square then dropped like $7. But I just feel this is almost inevitable. Now that you're potentially approaching that February 24th bottom, that's 31.75 or so. That's the next leg down. I'm going to get some shares out in front of that. Sit in front of the bid at 32 even. If it wants to take that level out, fantastic. But if that goes, I think 30 is going to be inevitable. This is all in the context, and it's just easier for me to do it this way. The future's now trying to get that NASDAQ to the downside. If we break morning lows, this is what I'm talking about. Hold on to your shorts if you got them. And it's the same thing with the oil futures. We just broke 128. So I get it. People are like, I was all over Chevron shorts. Any those $5 increments, but that had everything to do with the oil market slowing down. I'm not touching it unless I see a stall. If we get to 130 on oil futures and I can still short in front of 170 and we level off, great. But each time I've allowed that move to stall out. I've gone 4 for 4 shorting a Chevron, but that's being picky about it. Brendo?
Mullen, we had back on the watch list this morning, this little battery maker, guys. Tested up there to 140, 145, came all the way back to 120. Trying to go again, it would appear anyways. Tons of volume again on Mullen.
And not think take it up. Sorry, I was actually I was just telling Deshaun, I cannot look at a chart like this when I hold something that in my mind is a dividend player and I see it do this, my gut is telling me that you should be selling some. But you just got to grit your teeth and hold on to it. And that's what's been going on with it. It's completely insane. I'm going to be ready for that reopen on 9. And like I said, I've got 1 long, which I'm going to be reloading, hopefully on TMC in front of 2. I'm holding on to the affirm short, and then keep it simple. I'm going back to 9. I did miss out on the dip buy in front of 6. I hope somebody got it, because that was just like a clean $1.50. But if this opens back up and takes out 820, I'm looking for the high break on NINE. And from there, who knows what it can do.
I don't understand what this error is. Failed to cancel enough shares. I'm getting an error on something, so I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Okay, but right now, there goes AMD. We did switch it over. Oh, darn it. I had 2 bids there. Screw you, AMD. We had 2 bids there. We took out 2/3. We only want to take a 1/3. We are short at that 101.50, the level that we gave you. So once again, guys, this has been a roller coaster of a day, but not really, as everything's been well under control for me. I've been sitting here trading, being really happy with everything, holding on to this NEO. We're now 20 cents in the money. We crushed this name today. We crush XOM up 260 right now. It just touched $91 there. We're long at 88. Hard to complain for that trade. NEO and then AMD right now bouncing around. So I do want to short AMD again if we get back up here into this area. So I do have a couple offers. 102,
oh, shoot.
Bless you. 102.
I hit the wrong button.
That's okay. Oh, you did the countdown. Uh-oh. Hit it again.
Hit it again.
There we
Okay,
go. Ooh, good one.
It's right next to, it should not be next to my cough button.
No, it should not. But there it is, cough button, AMD, everything like that. So let's get ready to rock and roll here, guys, as we're ready. So good little move there for AMD, obviously, to the downside as we continue to crank it. But we are going to wait to see. I want to short in front of these levels here. So it's actually 102.50 or so where we'll wind up getting it out. But we already took that profit.
So it should be, I guess maybe this, oh, there we go. It just opened up on 9, just opened up and went downside heavily there. So this is, you know what, this might be the wrong one to trade. I wanted that $6. I'll get out in front of it, if only because it's worked a couple of times. But I've got that stop at 6, and it looks like it's going to immediately test it. So, 9 doing like 9 things. You know what, I don't want that, Phil. I took it the third time through, and of course the third time is not a charm, but I'm not going to try to hold it. I'm not going to get crazy about it. 2 times I tried to go long in front of this 6 even level, and it bounced like $1.50. The third time is not a charm, but it's in, it's out. Take the 25-cent hit here when it breaks the low, and it just halted to the downside. I'm going to move away from this and go to one of these other names because 9 is just, it's not cooperating whatsoever. It's just almost too violent. Still going to hang on to both TMC and Affirm. Those look like they're going to be okay for now. But 9, it needs to stay open for more than 1 or 2 minutes to get some real plays going here. Brendo?
Mandiant, we mentioned, we didn't even get to this this morning in the pre-market. MNDT. We mentioned late in the day yesterday, Google does go ahead and finalize that. I guess it was aftermarket. But yeah, deal done here for MNDT. Google taking out MNDT.
They did wind up doing that deal. Okay, good.
Did you get the terms? Sorry.
Good call on that one. I think it's going to be a cash. Cash?
Yeah.
Okay. MNDT. So I don't know if you have that up or not, Neil, but I know you like to trade some of those rebate names. So you can market make. But again, we don't talk about it that much because it's not something that a lot of people can do. But that's an interesting name there for Google. I like it. I'm a big shareholder, big shareholder. I mean, for me, it's my largest shares hold. So that's why I say that. But I mean, according to other people, you guys hold obviously probably a lot more shares than I do. But that's what I'm looking at right there. So a nice little move. I'm still on AMD right here. So I want to, again, I don't have faith in this market today, obviously. It's had the same kind of move back and forth. We have to get above the 50 period before anything changes for my attitude here. And it's 13,300. So we get above that, we'll change up our game and go the other way. But for right now, we're going to be shorting AMD. And try to get this a little closer to 102 to add to this position, but that's what I'm doing right now. We've already cashed out on it. AMD, I mean, I'm not red on anything right now. We're $3 in the money on XOM. We're 21 cents in the money on NEO. CEI, we've absolutely ripped apart today. That's been a great trade for us. Yeah, let's just keep on this train and keep going. We're very light. I now have 1% left of CEI. So we took it all out up here. We're just letting it fall back in. Let's see where it goes. But CEI, only 1% left. So for me, it's been a banger.
Yeah, we're going to do another backflip. It's going to be, Affirm just got to 32.14 technically, so I got another fill. At this point, now we're just going to continue to hold on to it and work the trade. I will say this about Mandiant. Just remember who's buying them here. So there actually might be volatility in this name. If it pops through 22 with a $23 price on Mandiant, look, regulatory issues because it's big tech and it's a it's a large size deal, so it's going to take a long time to close. It can be faded, I think, if it makes any spike close to 23. That's going to be a fade for me, but it's not happening right now. The market is starting to roll over, so if you've got a short, great. I think it's like yesterday, man. Like, hold on to it. I don't want to say this is going to be my frustrating stock of the day, but I had 2 things that I wanted to short the pops on this morning. One was Affirm, one was Square. As I'm sitting there messing around with 9, Square comes into that 98 level. And just, it was 102, then it was 100. I said, got to maybe check out that 98. It then popped to 98. It's already back at 95. I can't chase it at this point. Just have to accept the fact that I missed it. I hope somebody was on this Square because, obviously this was a pretty good short. But I ain't got it. But we do have Miss V, who's got a little something for us.
Hey Neil, we've got a super chat from Giovanni saying, do you guys like Oxy here? Occidental is up more than 2%, so can we take a look at Oxy?
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Well,
yeah, I was just, so I'm on, obviously right now we're on XOM to the long side here, and it looks like it's trying to break. So I think we're going to get out here at 90.25 here on a little bit of a breakdown. So here comes XOM, there it is. So we're going to get out of this one, and we will look at Oxy in a minute. I just got to manage this. Wow, AMD, let's go, guys. Bear market is abound. $1 in the money now on advanced micro devices. Let's go. And also watch out for that 99.50 area to the downside as well. Man, big time trading here happening on the floor. So I really hope that you guys are also having a good time with us here. This is $1 in the money, and we are just crushing this. Neo's 27 cents out. We got out of our CEI. We're just really happy today. It's been a big day, and I hope you guys are having similar luck with your portfolios, man. This has been a big one.
Yeah, so it's good to quickly talk about Oxy, but the first context is going to be what is going on right now in oil. Keep in mind, this is a 5-minute chart. I put up higher time frames when I watch the futures. Oh, where'd that go? That's going to be annoying. So there you go. It just topped out at like 128 and change, and you're getting a bit of a consolidation in the fall. You might notice that I popped into that CVX short. It just tested 170 when that was happening, but Oxy did a rug pull, managed to bounce at 54. I got out at 55, but it's coming all the way back up to those highs. So the equivalent level, that top at 58, it couldn't get past 58. If oil's going to make another pullback here, then I think this is going to be a monster level, that 58 level. And I just wait for there to actually be a turn on oil before you're thinking about shorting any of these names, guys. But 58 would be the equivalent on Occidental. I'm already short CVX as I watched oil make that first little rollover trade. 32 just held on a dime and a firm, but there's no size on the bid. I mean, like nothing. It's like 3,000 shares, 5,000 shares total on the bid of a firm at 32. I think it's going to have no trouble chewing through that. And I mentioned the NASDAQ futures. Yeah, they just broke 13.2, heading down towards those morning lows. That's what we think. If we get to this level down here, I see no way a firm doesn't break those January lows. And if they do, 30 could be incoming for a firm. Like I said, CVX, I got 169.40 or 38, same thing as 40 as an average price in front of that 70. And there was a big level on Chevron at 170. I know we're going over a lot there, but the question was about Oxy at the same moment that I got into Chevron. So it was I was like trying to flip back and forth because I wanted to answer the question and I was getting into Chevron. I got a level 2 up, but then the chart I wanted to show you, of course, I flipped at the last second and then it crashed on me.
Yeah, I'm short AMD already, proudly at 101.50 right now. So Prad hitting us up about AMD. Yeah, we're on this name. We are already short this. We were short right here on that day low break. That's what we wanted. And like every day we're getting a little bit smarter here, and trying to switch up the games, taking breaks, not taking breaks too early, waiting for things to happen. And this is happening right now. AMD down to 100. This is where normally it's like get out because it's at 100. We've resisted this a couple times before, but out of the corner of my ear, I hear Neil say hold, so I'm going to blame him. No, just joking. But I'm going to blame. Did you say hold?
Yeah, of course I said hold.
I was going to blame you. I was going to say if it goes back up, but no. I mean, it just makes sense to hold. So I mean, that's the whole thing. Look, the futures. This is why we're holding. So it's not. I'm not trying to get greedy here. Or anything. Well, I mean, we are trying to get greedy, but it's like we're holding because this is not giving us a reason to get out, and that's part of what's been my mistake over my 21 years. Jeez, how is Gray's doing? Of experience here. And I mean, thank God they say, what do they say, like get more distinguished right now? But you can see AMD to the downside. We'll see if we can hold that for a little bit. We've been holding Neo now. That's 30 cents in the money, trying to make days low on that one as well. So that's the plan of action for me is hold until we're wrong, basically. So that's what we're going to do. AMD continues to make that move down. I still think it breaks 100. We do have to have an out if we're going to be wrong. But again, we're already out of 2/3 by accident right there for 40 cents. So we're just going to hold the rest for $1.40 and see if we do test that 99 low, right? And so that's what we're looking at right here. XOM, unfortunately, now that I look back, actually, unfortunately or not, we just tweeted this out. XOM, we just got out of that right there at 90.20. That's another sticky no play. Sticky no plays, long 88 XOM, long CEI 150, and short Neo at 18. So how does that taste? Pretty yummy, man. So right now we're barbecuing up some profits. Last night, my wife cooked this crazy Greek chicken dish. It was so good. It had olives in there. It was fantastic, roasted potatoes, so on and so forth. So maybe tonight we flip it over and barbecue something. She's actually asking me right now, okay, time to figure out dinner. What do we think we should have tonight? I like barbecuing up some sausage. We'll see what's happening with that. But over to Brendan now, unless you want to review something quickly.
No, I'll say there was a double top on TMC, and it got me out. So I just took it out at 250. The 2 to 250 worked, but now it's taking out the highs without me. But we need to go to Brendan because I'm curious what is happening now.
Probably nothing.
First, there's that. Here we go. Look at where we're at. S&P 0.7 right now, 0.2 for the Dow. The NASDAQ continues to lead the way to the downside, 1.04 there for the NASDAQ. Look at crude, 7.4% now, back to day highs. Bitcoin and Ethereum holding on to gains, even with the uncertainty and volatility continuing. A few things we were discussing in the pre-market. Apple, 1 p.m. tonight. Mark that down as well. Apple event. We'll get the iPhone SE. First Solar making a big move there off the open. And yeah, the payment company is under pressure, guys. But yeah, 1 p.m. for Apple. Not doing much yet, though.
Yeah, like that usually moves the market. Oh man, now I'm really kicking myself over that TMC. There it goes, like 275 it's up to now. So eventually those metal names, or they're not all metals, they're all some of them are material names, the small caps. Yeah. It's not just energy, baby. Like it's also going to be these new ones to the party. And if they're low float and they're in a sector that's moving, then the long has just been working on those. There's just nothing to do about it. Affirm is just continuing to get absolutely shellacked. So I am gonna, now that you've broken through 32. All that is left for this stock, and the 15-minute probably shows it a little bit better, is going to be that January bottom. And once we get through that, it's about 31.5. It's going to be all that she wrote. That 170, there was a pullback, at least attempting to be made on oil, but you're seeing it actually press back toward those highs. It's just easier for me to do this instead of trying flipping back and forth. Now you're trying to break out. So 170 could go on Chevron. I've made this play several times in the last week. This will be the first time that it loses. But if it does, I have to remember the context. This is the strongest oil had actually been going into this type of a setup with that. The news this morning coming out of the U.S. and possibly now being joined by London. London.
I don't think it's possible. I think they said.
Is it official? So it being joined by at least England.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm holding on to the only things we got left to the short side. That's that CVX trade. 170 goes them out, and going to be a firm as well. If you're looking to catch bottoms on anything, I suppose you could do a little bit worse than Apple. It's above the 200 like we mentioned. It's trying to hold double bottom support, but there's no obvious level to work off here. That's the first thing to tell you. I think 155 would look juicy, but you're too far away from that to dig in. This market's starting to get to that downside. You just got to hold your shorts, man. Like, why am I even looking at trying to think about a long?
As soon as you said that, I just went long.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, stupid, I think. We'll wait to see. That's why I hit that alarm. Says, wake up. We're flipping over to a long right here on SoFi. So SoFi came in. This is the level that we wanted. So, hey, if we're going to get burned on this one, at least it's down to the low side here. And then we have this out. That's no problem that I will take, man. 925 breaks. We down on SoFi. So let's watch out for that one. 925 on SoFi. And you know what? Whatever, man. We're out of AMD. I'm ringing that freaking register right now. That is $1.16, sorry, of a win there. Yeah, $1.17. $1.16 and change win there on AMD. Let's just wait to see. Maybe the futures are bouncing. Maybe they are not. But we'll take that out right now. And I'm going to ring the Reggie on that one. So that's a good trade for me. And now let's worry about SoFi. Look at that, man. We just took a 32 long. We just got out at 37 there. Sorry, we're long 30, 32 half, 33 it's going to show. But that's a nice trade right there. Out 37 and still going SoFi. There's the call on the long, Brendo.
All right, so it looks like the EU guys a little more on the fence when it comes to this. They're saying they'll cut Russian oil and gas imports by 2/3 by the end of the year. So maybe 1 foot out the door for the EU, the UK going to follow through with it. Wanted to mention this as well. Remember GEVO? GEVO, 12% here, just made a day high. This is also a renewable energy stock, guys.
There it goes. And I just got first leg, so we'll go with this one, the Wiz. And at least for now, that Chevron trade, it just got down to that 169 even, so it bounced a couple of times off 170. Initially, I was only getting fills at that 50 area, and then it gave one last pump up to 170. I was able to catch a reload, but you're seeing it start to work into the downside. And it's just, To me, it's about being patient. You can see every day except for yesterday, all last week, it was find the key price level. If the futures curl and it's 150, it's 155 twice, it was 160. I don't know why I wasn't looking at this one, but yeah, it didn't actually set up yesterday. And then today at 170. So it's a very, very specific setup. It looks like it's going to work once again. Maybe the EU might have helped with that staggered thing there, but 170 holds like a dime. On CVX, Miss V again.
It's the International Women's Day, and I want to give a big shout out to all my ladies traders. And guys, I know you're busy, so I remind you, please smash the like button, support women all around the world and the trading community. Back to you guys.
And I'm just all the ones in the all in the chat as well. Like I see, and probably not talking enough in there because I know we have a few more viewers that maybe haven't piped in, or that I know the chat's going crazy. But let's shout them all out. Give yourself a pat on the back, because I'll tell you right now, like everybody knows that trading a lot of times tends to be a bit of a male-dominated business. My experience is all of the female traders I know that we've brought in have had a higher success rate as trainees graduating than guys. Maybe it's selection bias. I have no idea. We'd love to get more applications. I know Greg got a ton of them, and I don't even know what the breakdown might have been. I feel like we forgot about Bed Bath & Beyond. So I keep thinking it was like 22 to 23. I'm like, look at that channel. 22, 22, 22. So I'm about to maybe step in it here by going and paying for those shorts now that it's at that 22, because it's making quite a little bit of a bull flag in that 22 area. But that's too juicy to look at and not at least take one swing at it. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure, first of all, that we have the locates or see how expensive they are. But 22 has held now 3 times in the last 15 minutes. So it is finally worth a look. You don't want to step in anything brand new if it's not moving and not giving you opportunities. Looks like Bed Bath & Beyond is at least trying to do that.
That's hilarious. Today's lunch, I mean, I just have the salad, but it's Cajun grilled chicken breast with mini potatoes. Which is what I had last night, except for it was a Greek style and steamed green beans. It was pretty much, I do feel like you guys just had that.
It was like a spicy chicken sandwich yesterday.
Oh, that was Louisiana. This is Cajun. I don't know. I don't know if it's one and the same. I don't know. I just remember it said Louisiana, but Cajun.
There's like a theme this week. That's
I don't know. Yeah, maybe Cajun spice on sale right now. Okay.
Right.
There it is. Right. So we'll go alert because we did get out of our XOM there, and I think we did a pretty good job of that. We just got out there. We were thinking that maybe we didn't do very good on that, but we get out there for $2.50 of a winner there on. Sorry, $2.20 of a win, but. You know, it did go 270 in the money, up to 90.90 basically, the day's high, obviously for XOM. But right now you're now dancing again at the 50 period. You could see right here, I do have oil if you're wondering what this is on the downside. I don't even really care about the chart. I'm just looking at the percentage. We're up 7 now, so. None of the prices mean anything to me. Like, it doesn't matter if we break 127 or it doesn't matter. So we're just going to watch it. We're going to look out for big candles like this. But right now, oil's still up that 7p. So if you wonder what's down here, that's what that is going through. SoFi, good couple outs. We're out of 40% up here as it does touch the 50 period. Our best out, of course, is 42. We did have a 43 to try to get out of half, but we'll wait. If that comes back up, now we'll put one at we'll put another one at 41, 42, something like that. And then hopefully it respects this 50 period and then takes it out on a move to the upside. And then we'll see about getting SoFi out. My realistic target, I mean, I would love for stocks to moon. I mean, there's no doubt about that as a bull, but I can turn this. Oh, what the? I don't know how that got knocked over there. Sorry about that for the bull. But I'm still a bull in this market. The only problem is, man, we need to take out this 50 period before we put on anything real. The NASDAQ's trying to make a bottom. It just bottomed at 13,150. We'll see if it held that. This level is pretty cool if we take it out because it's right where the 50 period is. And it's right where this level, key level, 13,230. I mean, whatever, to the exact dollar, it doesn't matter, our point, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. Let's just see if we get a change. And that's why we noticed that bounce back up. And honestly, me getting out of AMD had nothing to do with the 100 level, nothing at all to do with the 100 level. It had to do with a bottoming in the NASDAQ and then just getting out. So we take that $1.16 and I'm sure as hell glad that we did. Normally I would have reloaded this and gotten hell along at 100, but we're not trying to do that, man. We're just trying to be as smart as we can with some of these trades, right? And there it goes back up to the upside. upside. We may just cash out of the rest of this NEO as that already made a move, but maybe Microsoft, something like that. There goes that TMC if you still have it, Neil.
I don't.
Yeah, I just see it. TMC. I don't know if that's what Brendan wants to come with, but is it AM? No, it's not.
It's a NASDAQ
just
stock.
touched 320. It's going to take a while to load.
We have
but
no locates.
TMC just, there it is right here. This is a 20-minute chart up to there, and here it is right here. Just came back in on a fail there. So what's the next one to go? Nobody knows. Or do they, Brendan?
Crazy moves. CVX, guys, all-time highs. So a lot of these oil companies, at least 5-year highs for Oxy as well, or XOM, I think it was. This, Rivian, the other direction, all-time lows. The first of probably many investor-led lawsuits coming through for RIVN.
So this is pie in my face. I'm gonna do this for myself on TMC because it's not just I was looking short. It got to 3. It broke 3 on TMC. That is, it broke 3. Got to like 320. The second it failed at that 3/4, I hit the key at 310 and then realized I got rejected because I didn't have any locates. So unfortunately, it's gonna make this move without me to the downside. I got out of the long too early and then just missed the reverse on the short. CVX, by the way. Thankfully, I got out almost everything. I was holding on to the last little bit for a VWAP retrace to 168, but now it wants to try to take out the bid offer at 170. There's 200,000 shares on the offer of Chevron at 170. That's not an insignificant order, but this is the 3rd time it's going through. First time I shorted on the way down. Second time I shorted in front of 170. I am not loading back into this a 3rd time here, guys. Actually, wait a minute. No, I am. I just looked at this. That's oil still rolling over. Yeah, I'm going to get back in again. It would be ridiculous not to. So if it's going to give me a look at that level and there's still that size on the offer and oil is still going down, and that's the thing. If you're not watching what's going on in oil futures, then I might have decided the 3rd time is not a charm there. So I'm going to go right in, readjust my stop order on the fly there. Because if 70 goes, that level goes, I want to get out. But if oil's still rolling over, it's worth going back to the well at least one more time.
Yeah, I like that oil trade. I was actually just looking at, we did, just an update here. We did go short AMD, and again, we're just at the 50 period. This is going to be a trade that I'm going to be in hopefully for a long time if it comes to the downside here, but not if it gogoes up, man. 101.50 is the out. We're already in the money 20 cents on this name. That's already 1-to-1 on the risk to reward. I'm not going to take it. We're going to wait for a breakdown through of 100. If we can get this like in the 80s, I think that's pretty reasonable. So we'll go 100. Let's just go to 90 right now. Okay, here it goes right back up to the upside. So we may get out of this one as the NASDAQ is trying to take this out. Like I said, we won't be in this for very long. If it takes, there it is. So, okay, so there now we don't have to worry about where to get out as it's Rip City right now, which is fine. That was, for me, well worth the risk. Look at the NASDAQ just marketing up right now, which is fantastic. So right now, we're smoking one right now with SoFi as that's up to 950. Remember when it was here, down here, and I was like, my out's going to be in here somewhere, 950 or so. Hey, man, let's ring some Reggies on this name as we get out of SoFi a little bit there at 950. So here we go, 951. We're doing it, and doing it well. One more time. Shout out to LL Cool J there, Neil.
Great video.
Because Mama said
video.
knock Brendan out?
No.
Brendan, nah, I should never say that. Brendan over there at the big screen. Let's go. It's small cap recap time. Is that a little B-cell action?
Hey guys, yeah, really the only other one outside of the energy long list of energy stocks that was moving today. Again, B-cell. Yesterday was kind of day 2. Day 3, as I mentioned, back to the downside. So it broke 3 immediately at the open there and just flushed down to 275. Volume already dying out, but did give you a little bit of a trade. Otherwise, everything else was energy focused. I mean, some of these moves are absolutely crazy. Wanted to highlight this one, IMPP. Tough to get involved at this at the high, but I just wanted to note, every time it reopened, it gave you a retracement to possibly get short. So we went from 9.5, 975 all the way down to 6, guys. Straight down for IMPP. They all kind of look like that, though. Back over to you.
Yeah, and to me, that pop in the market, it just gave me a chance to reload a firm. So I just took some more shares back up close to that 34 level. As long as it wants to try to hold that first level top, we're going to be happy to be in it. I got to watch oil futures, obviously, for that CVX trade. But I think I just put in the chat, and one thing, it feels like it might not fall down unless it runs the stop at 170. And I just get this feeling like the longer it holds up here, if we're not retesting the highs in oil futures, like it's just going to want to take out 170, fail maybe at the quarters or the halves, and then come back into the downside. And there's only two ways you can play that if you're looking for the short. You can either take your stop out at 170 and then look to maybe get back in if it's a fail break, or your other option at that point is to hold through, give it 25 or an extra 50 cents. I'm going to go with the latter, and it's not because I'm playing with house money. I just feel like sometimes you can't, it's hard to get back into the trade. So as long as we're not breaking out on oil futures, and I am watching it very closely, I'm going to give this some room past that 170. It still hasn't even touched that order, the 200,000 shares, but that's going to be my play. And for a firm, I'm going to get back in front of VWAP just to make sure I'm scalping some of it and do want to hold on to it. The other name that I liked, whoa, I just typed AFRSQ? Yeah, I did. The other name that I liked is going to be Square. If it had gotten back to 98, I would have gotten into Square for the first time as well. But on that pop, a firm gave me a reload at the price I was able to get before. Unfortunately, Block doesn't actually come anywhere close to the level I liked at 98. So there was a chance to stick with the game and just go to the shorts. For me, when I see a market bounce like that, I just go back to what's working last week and also yesterday. And that's once it turns into a short breaking those lows, I'm sticking with the guns. And these are lower highs that are being put in. The market's still relatively weak. There goes XOM, so it did take out both at 170, but even ran all the way through the quarters. So I tried to get a little bit extra room, 25 extra cents. Sorry, CVS.
Right, okay.
It just took out that 170, got through the quarters. So I put the stop 25 cents higher to give it some room. Looks like it just broke it. And without the futures breaking the high, can I get back into it? This is what I was sort of fearing. That was whether I'm able to get back into it on the way back down. Of course, it catches me on the wrong chart. But it makes a stop run. I try to jump back into it because the oil futures are still holding below those highs at 129, and then it's difficult to get back into the trade. So it looks like, even though I was kind of expecting this to happen, I end up getting shaken out anyways. That's a tricky thing about those big levels, is it can be difficult to jump back into that trade because they run the stops and then you have a liquidity vacuum sort of opening up, and then you're trying to get shares and filled back in the vacuum, which is me sitting on the offer right now. So that's what just happened on CVX there. And then there's your flush. So it's one thing to sort of call out what's going to happen. It doesn't make it easy to execute around because that's what the algos do. They run stops, open up the gap, and then make sure it's not easy to get back into the trade. The alternative is to have no stop in that situation, have it break a key level to the upside, all futures run, and then you're screwed if you're holding on to the short. So there's no perfect way to make that play. I did try to give it more room to see if I could hold on, but you can see the end result of it. It looks like the short would have worked if I had just held.
All right, right there. We just put in the chat there, "Doing It" by LL Cool J. So I got that in my mind right now. Okay, we'll reload right now on NEO. We take it. So there's the reload right now on that trade. We got out because it broke through 18, our first trade, which is fine. It was a short right here at 98. There's bang, there it is right now. A nice little out right there for 10 cents. And hopefully NEO continues to crash lower and lower and lower here as we're going. So that's NEO out right. Oh, come on. This mouse of ours here, not really cooperating, but oh, God, I got to fix this mouse. Let's go to Brendan.
Even the drillers starting to catch a bid here, guys. This is a little teeny tiny as well. Drilling, an oil services company. ICD just popping up on huge volume there at day highs. 30% for that one.
All right, yeah, mouse hopefully now fixed. Got jammed up there on my phone holder thing there. Okay, now we're just gonna wait. We're gonna wait for this to crash down here, man. I mean, we're happy holding this NIO trade, hopefully to the downside and hopefully for a while. So let's see if we can get a 1765. We're not gonna get too greedy. NEO's already below this. This is a sticky note name that we've been trading here today. So we'll see if we can get into the 70s here on NIO. Like, I've already made exactly 100 trades here today. You've seen them all. So hopefully you're being successful, and I have paid fees of $5.66 on 100 trades. So so far so good on that note. And like I said, we're just adding liquidity. So that's why when you see me making these trades, you're like, well, you know, how are you able to? Oh man, now my hand sticky from that pulling that wire. Now you get there's like, it's all, I don't know. This is just, it's nasty. This.
Oh, okay. No, I see.
That's what happens when we get Anyways, okay, so I don't even remember what I was getting at now, but the market's going to the downside. We're going to stay short NEO here, and that's a name that we want. Shout out to this guy here, Mr. Globby. I just got this. My kid got it. It's like a fidget thing, and it's really awesome. So it's like now I just have to hold this, and that way I will not trade. So that's like my new thing. If I have this in my hand, then remember what I said to Peter Schiff? That my heroin was the buy key or whatever. So I'm going to keep my hands off that and let these things fall. It's a 25-cent now winner on N to the I to the O.
Yeah, I scalped another 50 cents on a firm there, but what I wanted to go over is there is an opportunity cost to not, instead of just leaving my stop, I decided to manually trade CVX, right? It's like, let it make that break, try to get back in. As that was happening, remember we liked two prices for the short on Bed Bath & Beyond. One was 22. I tried the short in front of 22. You'll see that nice little tight stop in there. And then it made the run, went to $22.97 and did this. So obviously, like, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about that. If I'm trading something else at the moment it makes that turn, then I'm not going to cash that trade. But this is one of the reasons we go over the plan of action. I said I like two price areas for a fade on Bed Bath & Beyond, 22 and then 23. Showed you on the 15-minute chart both. There's your reversal. It's giving you the buck. I can't do anything about that now. It's come, it's gone. I missed the trade. If it comes back up there again, all you can do is say, second time through, maybe not as good. Take a few less shares, tighter stop, those types of things. But that was your one shot up there. I hope somebody maybe caught it. We're going to head back over to Brendan. He's got another name for us, I think.
A few other things happening outside of oil today. We mentioned Dick's Sporting Goods, guys, with a decent report pre-market. Just got flushed there. I'm going to double check on the call. Just watch out. There might be the earnings call happening. The other one is Desktop Metal. DM, a former huge runner, got all the way up to 410. Also got crushed after earnings, guys.
We're just talking about oil trades here, and I feel like this XOM, it just, I mean, Neil's on CVX, I'm on XOM today, and it's like it keeps respecting this VWAP of 89.90 here, so it keeps dropping back down and giving you this long. I don't want it, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that's not a bad spot because you can see here oil still up 8% and going higher and higher and higher. I'm like ridiculously underweighted, like couple percentage points of the portfolio, but XLE just continues to rip, man. Rip. This is the name that I'm in the long. I mean, I'm in XOM. My long in XOM is like $30-something, but it's not a big percentage of the portfolio again. But XLE, I put some money into this about a month ago. When it started to go, we tweeted that out as well. So XLE continues to work to the long side. And then I say those things because, again, being Canadian, you know, we're raised to sort of buy and look at energy stocks because of that's, you know, a lot of what we hear here. So that's, you know, I'm long Enbridge, which, again, pipelines, another great name to be long. Enbridge making new 52-week highs. Again, I don't know what they're up today, or maybe they're down. This is not an oil play, just gas pipelines. So you could see Enbridge obviously working out as well, nicely done. Ooh, 45, pulling back a little bit. Maybe we cash out a little bit of this, not. But this is another perennial dividend payer. So I just kind of hold all these names along with some Canadian banks, and then obviously some exposure in the oil market. Nothing wrong with getting some. So Enbridge continues to work for me, as well as look what's happening right now as the market trying to stay afloat a little bit, but it is turning once again red again, down that 1% here on the NASDAQ. And there goes NEO one more time, back down. That's the one-day chart. Let's cheat the 1 minute. We're back into this range, man. We're short up here. Like, wow, what a good reload that was, back down to the downside. So right now, into the gates of hell goes NIO, and they're in trouble, man. But it's not like we can say we didn't talk about this. This is one of 4 names on the sticky note. XOM long 88, NEO short at 18. What else did I have there? CEI long at 150. The rest is history there. And then AMD, watch out for that name. So we're looking here. We're still making new lows. I don't really have a target here for NIO. Let's just hold this one until we see how far this market wants to go down. It's the only short I have. And I have a SoFi long, which, by the way, this was another name that we talked about early on. And I was like, the one long I'm trying to get is SoFi. So here we go, man. We're long at 932. Look at these outs. Every single one is 10%. Diamond hands, not really on this one, but we'll hold 20% and see if it can get a climb in. Here it goes, back into here. Here we go, up to 962, hopefully. We do have an offer there, 966 actually. Let's wait, let's see, let's get a little greedy here. Let's see if we get that 966 bid here on SoFi.
Yeah, and you're getting a bit of a bid. I mean, Apple's trying to make a move here as well. It's if you put up a higher time frame chart, like the 15-minute, like those are successive big red candles from 160 that you've had at the open, and it's trying to put in the first green one here as the market's trying to hold up. I thought the level I really liked was 155. You might not get that, but it's about going back to the well for the reloads that you can try to get. I'm looking at Square, it never got to 98 here. And remember I talked about 9, and that was the one I liked at the open. We're sitting in at pre-market. There were some good longs to be had. It is finally actually trying to hold. This is the first time it had actually held up and open for more than like 2 or 3 minutes or whatever, and then it just had another halt. It's now halted 5 or 6 times. This is why I'm not jumping to this name again. It's now not all that tradable unless you're just going halt to halt. I want something which is going to give you a chance to be able to dig into it and then get into a position that maybe you can hold a little bit longer. That should have been TMC. Obviously, I've now paid for the short. It looks like it's made 1 wick top. If it makes another run at that high, I'll try it the second time through. I should have paid for the shorts. I was trading this to the long side and got sloppy by not getting the price when you're long. When you're in the money on something, think about what's next, not celebrating the win. And what was next was that fail break at 3 and trying to short it. So I should have been better prepared by paying for those shorts. One more that I want to get back to here, guys. I have not traded Dick's, obvious Dick's Sporting Goods. It just made a press and then a fail at that high of a pre-market high at 107 and started to pull back heavily. Still a good earnings report, 100. Held pretty nicely at the open. It had to go through it and bottom out at 99. I'd like to see if 100 could hold. If we get another dip down and the ES can hold the bottom, 100 on Dick's. Dick's Sporting Goods looks like an interesting level to potentially hold. Brendo?
I was just checking on Tesla here, guys. There was a comment there, it looks like from Elon, regarding that SEC settlement when it comes to shareholders. And he's saying, I never lied to shareholders, telling a judge in a court. Today, apparently. So Tesla just went positive, but immediately right back down. Trying to hold 800, though. Let's go to Miss V. There's 1 hour left over in Europe this morning, guys. So what is happening, Miss V, over in Europe?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are trading higher today. Telecom Italia is up more than 5% on reports that U.S. fund KKR was still interested in a takeover deal. Back to you.
Yeah, that deal's taking forever to get done, it would seem, for that one, guys. Still, I mean, 0.8 for the S&P, back to day lows here.
Yeah, XOM, I see that. What's up, Roger? There, yeah, you are 100% right, man. Money bags flying everywhere today in the oil patch. Look at XOM continuing to make a move up. And someone just also said to me, shout out, watch out for CEI as it's moving. So let's go back over and look at CEI. And I did see it. And unfortunately, man, I mean, wow, 270 million already? Okay. But the important thing for me is this 150 held. I mean, it came right back in. And unfortunately, I wish I was a little bit taller and a baller, and possibly, well, I actually kind of am a shot caller. But the point is on all this is that, you know, this 150 was a good reload spot. That's a spot that we liked. I don't want to touch it in here. This is right in the middle. I do get that it's breaking out here. It just took out the 50 period. To me, that was the trade there. And we're not trying to force anything. So I'm not going to take it right now. But if CEI comes back in, definitely watch that 150 level. Thank you for the shout outs to everybody on that play as well. And then just quickly, man, Neo crashing, crypto crashing, a lot of things crashing down to the downside right now. So we will just wait to see where these fills are going to come in. But Neo right now trying to take out the day's low. We're short. It's the only name we're short right now. We're 35 cents in the money as the market right now taking down day's low. And the thing about it is AMD's not at the low yet. So that's something where maybe we got to look at this name. It just cracked lower. That was a great short, obviously. Hindsight when you're looking at it into this area of pre-market highs, but we did take out 103.50. So that's, you know, I guess not as obvious maybe as it seemed. But right now, AMD, I don't want it at these levels. You just got to watch. I'm debating reloading long, not reloading, but taking a long down here if we get into the $100.30 range or so on AMD. But for right now, the only short position I do have on is our friend AMD. And then unfortunately, we got a little too cocky. We said that we're getting greedy here on SoFi, which we were, man. And now we're getting paid or pain trade on that greed. So we'll wait to see if SoFi comes back up. But I mean, we only have 20% left. And again, I think I do a pretty good job of letting you guys know, like, you know, where we are as far as the shares that we have and whatnot. So that's that trade right here for SoFi. We have 20% left, and just letting the rest go. I'm still waiting for 60, so let's see if it gets back up there. Reload down here 930, but not until we get down there.
Yeah, I'm back on the bid here from about 20 cents away from getting another leg out. And then it's going to be a hold, like I said. At this time of day, I found that this is just, we're in a bear market the last couple of weeks, specifically from momentum, this has been true. When you have that attempt to break out in the upside, and then we see the market start to reverse, I've just found that at this time of day, should be sitting in a, like, once you've made a direction, should be sitting in a winner in something that I'm looking to hold through. And if I find a really good level somewhere, then that's where I want to grab the longs. Otherwise, this is not the time to be over trading at 1035. Like, this should be take a step back, the things of the move, let them settle out, find those key levels for trades, whether it's going to be maybe TMC gives me a look at that 325 area for a potential short trade again, or 23 on Bed Bath & Beyond, or reloads. And I mean, Square's not giving any opportunities. Affirm's at least giving you a chance off the levels we liked. I mean, there was one shot on Square at 98, and I'm kicking myself for not getting it. I was lined up to look for it, and then just another trade happened at that particular time, and there's not much you can do about it, but TMC was making some runs at that point, and then also 9 was making its move. So I had to prioritize, and unfortunately we got away from Square. It's double bottomed at 93, and it is, again, trending down. Like, I don't want to be forcing it. I just want to be making sure that we're playing not against the grain, and the grain has been to that downside. If we get a shot at Apple, I think we'll definitely be looking to take that one. If it gets to like 155, it just, on the chance that it can pop going into the event, and you're playing off a good level, I think it's going to be worthwhile to take a look there at Apple. The other name that we were mentioning at the open, I know you're in NEO, Tesla, it's back above that 800. So you're seeing some relative strength in Tesla. And just looking at the overall market, you saw like the opposite of this, like lower highs on Square. You're getting higher lows, forming a wedge to the upside on Tesla. So if you're looking for something that can be stronger in a bit of a breakout, I would put Tesla into that camp if we're able to hold some of these lows in the futures. And that's what you should be trying to find at this point. Key levels, establish the trend. What is more bullish than other names that might give you a chance for some longs if we reverse? What is bearish that you want to hold on to your shorts, be more aggressive with those reloads. So that's all I'm doing, and noting here that Tesla is giving you a nice little upward trend. If the market holds the bottom and wants to break out, I'm not seeing too many things that look a little bit better than Tesla for a top break. We're still bearish right now, but you've got to plan for what might happen in the future as opposed to sort of getting caught up in the moment of this little minutia back and forth, because the futures might make some bounces like 10, 20 points here or there. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for what the next big play is going to be. For now, I think it's holding on to shorts though.
Yeah, and there it is. Just as Neil said it, we reloaded NIO, man, and yeah, look at this. Good little reload there on that pop through VWAP, through 50 period. Just stay short, man, and there it is. There's the reload. We got 91s out, 84s there, and now tanking even further. So I think now, because we got the reload, this is going to be something that I'm going to put a bid out now for on NIO. Because we got that reload to the downside, I feel like a 70 bid is appropriate here. So let's bid out a little bit in the middle here. 71 or so we're bidding on SoFi, on NEO, sorry, down here. So let's see if we can get that down through off that reload, and then we're just trying to hold the last piece. I mean, the short really is at 1805. The averaged in price now, we're just taking it out. That's how our system operates. So we'll see about a low move here in NIO, looking at this 1765 coming through sooner rather than later. So here we go. We're at the bid at 71. Hopefully it comes down and touches us. We're on a paid gateway, so it has to run through us here. Run through me, son, on that side of things. 1773 now. So we'll see if NEO can get down and hit that 1771, and it may do it as we go over to Brendo at the big screen. Actually, doesn't look half decent there, but there is a couple quadrants that do look pretty nasty. So Brendan at the big screen.
Yeah, no surprise as to which those are. Let's have a look here. 0.8 right now for the S&P. Obviously, energy jumping off the board in front of us here as very, very strong. Every single one of these stocks having quite the day. CTRA, I think it was an earnings name today, but everything else very, very strong. 6+% right across the board for anything that is oil related. Good to see. Some of the industrial stocks with a bounce today as well. Caterpillar, DE, 3 and 6%. There was a positive note on Caterpillar specifically as a hedge against this craziness that is going on. ALK and LOVE bouncing back today. Some of the other airlines, though, not as much. UAL is positive, but only just. But ALK and Southwest, they're 3.8 and 4.5% for those two. So industrials are positive on the day, but only just. DLTR reported better than expected, 5.5%. ENPH, SEDG as well, 9.5 and 7.5%. Everything else basically in the tech group is little changed or to the downside. So tech stocks are actually red on the day. So are healthcare stocks leading the way. In fact, the entire group here in negative territory. Right across the board, quickly wanted to mention consumer staples. There was a little bit of strength initially, but that has now faded. So consumer staples among the leaders as well. CAG there individually leading 4+% in negative territory. 0.7. So we're heading in the right direction, guys. Yeah, 10:45 Biden set to speak. That usually means, I don't know, 11:30 he might actually speak. We'll see.
I just want to point a couple of things out. So if you remember Bed Bath & Beyond yesterday, it was right between 9 and 9:30 when it made that pre-market high, going parabolic. And when it doesn't hold, and when it doesn't hold those levels, the rug pull. So INDO, maybe I'll show you a 15 just quickly here. This tries to make a double top on the 15-minute. Essentially, it gets really close to it, getting to 81. It got to 85, 86 yesterday. And then right before the open, it starts to roll over and then capitulate. And then this is why we always say, take your profit and run, because it can be tricky getting back out of this. It got cut in half. HUSA did the same thing. Keep in mind, this is with oil making fresh highs. It doesn't, when these things get so overvalued, it doesn't matter. We always say, no one ever went broke taking profit. And this is the reason, like some of these rug pulls get really, really ugly very fast. So, it's just try to be very, very, what's the word I want to look here? Try not to be greedy. That's the best way to think about it.
Prudent?
Like take your, prudent. That makes sense.
Responsible.
Responsible is another word to use here. Fastidious? Yeah, that works, Randy. Why not? But again, like the rug pulls are crazy on some of these names. Speaking of Bed Bath & Beyond, it looks like it's going to make another test at that 23. You can see it consolidating here. I did miss it the first time, but I am willing to try it a second time off of that level. So we get there. We'll take a shot at Bed Bath & Beyond at 23. We should have had it the first time, but I ended up missing it. And then it's like the story of my life or story of my day in TMC. I'm looking for that one last push up to that 3 level. It gets to 295, and then there's your flush. It just flushed down to 250. So another name that's run away from me here. After that rug pull, I'm not going back to the well, bouncing or sort of taking longs in front of $2. I need to see it bounce in front of 2 first, and then try and jump in front. But you see the way the rug is pulling on this, $3 to 250. If it makes the next leg down at 2, I think there could be a bounce at that price, but I don't want to get long into a halt, so I'll allow it to make a bit of a bounce first and then try to jump into long. It was a good level, all pre-market. We'll give it one more shot down there if TMC wants to try to hold. The difference between this and some of those energy plays is it's day 1 or 2 for the materials low floaters, whereas you're now on day, like it's been a week and a half, I think, for those low float energy names. Like they've really started to go parabolic and continued, whereas you're still in the midst of an early run potentially for these. So that's why I'll at least try the dip buy in TMC, but I was not trying it in HUSA or Indo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's SoFi. So we'll go on that one because your boy held it again, and it does exactly what we thought all the way back to the upside. But hey, we took a little bit of a price that maybe we shouldn't have. We took 55s there on the way up. So it was just dancing around that back-to-back 55 jacks off of our 30 long. So we'll take 25 cents on SoFi and then hold the rest. And that's the plan. That's what we're going to deal with right now on SoFi. We're going to see where this ticks. Now it's up to 60. We're still long. We only have 10% left. But hey, it's still a good trade for me. We're going to wait to see where we go now on SoFi. Let's see how high this thing wants to fly now. Hopefully it continues to go upside. This is where we got greedy last time up here. We waited for 66s, and this time we take 55. So that's why I'm not super happy with it, but I'm okay. We did also reload a little bit here on NIO and then just got it out twice. So now we're still holding this. I'm still waiting for an 1820 bid to come through. Oh, Microsoft. So actually I have to cancel this trade because obviously it's come back in right now. So I liked this level, and this is where I want to talk about it, maybe for a short. If it comes back in, you can see the 50 period is definitely to the downside. Microsoft down here down double what the market's down right now, so that's never a good sign. So we do have to be a little bit worried about what Microsoft is doing at these levels. So that's really what I'm waiting for here, is to see if we can hold, and then I want to get long down here at 270. So like AMD, like some of these names, there are key levels that we're looking for, but Microsoft down here at 270 again if the market does crash. I don't think it's going to happen now, but we're going to leave you guys in 15 minutes, throw you over to Trader Prad. So I do like this 270 bottom there on Softy, and then I want to try to respect something in here with this VWAP and with this 50 period. So if the market really starts to get going, Microsoft already more negative than the market, so I don't know if we'll punch the long. It really needs to consolidate and then break to the upside. So if we get some consolidation like this and then you break and then we break again, I would probably look at a second level, but right now we'll wait to see on a downside move here. You can see what oil's kind of doing right now, starting to head back down, so that's good for the equity markets. So it's supposed to be good for the equity markets. So let's wait to see if this does give us this break right here. Maybe baby small, but I will try a break of 274 here. It's still a little far away, but we'll try a break of 274 on Microsoft. And then we do have, probably hold it about 50 or so cents against us. But that's a play that I'm looking at. Microsoft to get back going here, hopefully back to the upside with MSFT.
And it looks like Dix did bounce off 100. It got to maybe 183. So not quite close enough to get me into the trade, but it's trying to go here. The market did just make another leg to the upside. I'm close to, maybe not going to get it just yet. Gonna wait for 34, a little bit closer to 34 on a firm for another reload. They've been able to scout 50 cents at the top end of this range and want to be a bit patient with it. Just saw Bed Bath & Beyond. I got 92s, I think it was. I put an extra B in there just now. I got 92s in the short trade, and then it took out the top. So it was a tighter stop than I think when we took the 22, because it was like that second time through. You got to have it that first time. Like I said, I did miss out on it, and now you're getting a bit of a break. I got the levels, the two levels that I wanted. Got the two levels that I wanted, but maybe not the timing that I wanted there. So unfortunately, it's not going to be great for me on Bed Bath & Beyond, but I'm going to stick to my stop out and make sure we keep the losses smaller when you're fighting against the grain there. I wish we could have had that Dix, but at this point, beggars can't be choosers. Square continues to make some move back to the upside, but still relatively weak, right? So Square relatively weak. We said Tesla was relatively strong, and if there was something that was poised for a break, if the futures could hold the lows, that at least you could put Tesla into that camp. I'm going to quickly show you the 15 because that's a little bit easier to see. The bottom end of the range for the last couple of days was that 820 area, and that's what you're grinding towards right now. So you're looking to get a series of higher lows, and if this market can break that out towards the top, you'd like to look for an 820 break, not in the context of the market. I would hate to see the NASDAQ or the ES at the morning high when it's trying to break. As long as you've got room to the morning high, then there's room for Tesla to run before the futures markets run into resistance. That would be a key. You don't want to be breaking out or taking a breakout style trade, running into overhead resistance. That's when you'd rather be taking dip buys. And at this point, that's 800.
All right, SoFi up to 970 here. I want to talk about Apple because normally when you see the market like this, obviously Apple, I guess Apple's worse than the market today, but remember we do have the event today, so that's part of what this is. I mean, people are going to wait to see, and again, the phone comes out too expensive, not blah blah blah. There's always going to be talk about what's happening there, so that's why for Apple right now we're not going to be in this name. But again, it's definitely made a nice bottom at 156, and you can't really go wrong trading Apple, so that's a name that you may want to look at for that. What is PayPal? I know Neil was just talking about Square, but I always got to look Yeah, I mean, look how choppy this is, right? That's not something to trade. Okay, XOM. Look at oil, man. Now back down. Well, not down, but down to 6%. XOM one more time. We're trying to respect this VWAP again here. Wow, 89.93. I mean, how many times is this going to test it? I've already made the money here today on XOM, so honestly pretty happy with the way this has been trading. So for me today, we'll keep the money in our pocket, but this is not a horrible trade again off VWAP, especially if you do like it. But really, man, the trade that I'm most proud of here, and it's one and in, and then that's done. And this is good for you guys on PDT, and we talk about this all the time. All my trades today, basically, besides NEO, have been able to be taken by most people. One in on XOM, one in here on SoFi. That's going to be a good trade. Basically, one in on AMD as well. So that's going to be good. But there it is, up to 970, 975. SoFi up that 1% and trying to go more. Let's see if we take out 10 today. Honestly, this market rallies. SoFi is up 1%, so we like this name. Let's see if it goes. It's SoFi. It's on my radar here, and I do want to reload now, maybe in this 950 area if we can get it. But wow, that was a gift on the downside there for SoFi. It's money talks already. Wow. Okay, 10:50. Only 9 minutes left in our show. So let's go over to Brendan and see what currency, crypto, things like that are doing. Brendo.
I got you. Busy morning. Let's have a look at Currency World. Had a number of requests for the Russian ruble to be added to this board. So of course, absolutely. There it is. Russian ruble versus the US dollar, actually higher on the day, if you can believe that. That's a daily chart. Yeah, I mean, self-explanatory. 13 cents down up there. 6 cents, it's 6/10 of a cent, I should say, at the bottom. We are bouncing today, though, up 7% there for the Russian ruble. The US dollar was actually quite a bit lower than that at one point, but is starting to rally again back to the upside. So 0.16 to the downside. So pretty mixed right across the entire board. It's worth noting Canadian dollar lower anyways, 0.35, even with the weakness in the US dollar. Back to 77 once again for our Canadian dollar. Everything else slightly higher top to bottom here, guys, including, Bitcoin trying to hold some key levels. Back over to you.
So this is a surprising name. Well, somewhat surprising name that's strong here. I see people talking about AMD. It's got some relative strength. I get that. Zoom, however, is up 2% into, like we said, a downward market. I know we're bouncing a little bit here, but let's be honest. Zoom getting off those lows, and it's making a series of higher lows, looking pretty strong. And if I'm thinking, it's basically the same thing that Tesla looks like. If we can get off the hump, this for a potential if we can get to that high again, 112.50 break, it's got just so much room. Like you're talking like small bounces here can get you to 120. Like it would not take a lot for Zoom to get going. So, I'm adding this one to the radar. We looked at Tesla. Zoom's going to be in that same regard. First things first, we're down 1% on the NASDAQ. It does have to make a bit of a press higher here. Let's get out of this consolidation that we're looking at in the overall market. Oh, whoops. Had a stop trigger that I didn't want, so I have to get out of firm because it looks like I misjudged. And I'll just jump back into the short. Going to pay the spread there. But Zoom, I want to see the market move up a little bit, get a nice little consolidation, breakout. It's also yesterday's high, that 112.5. And what I mean about the NASDAQ moving, and then always when in doubt, zoom out. On a 15-minute, you can kind of see, like the original support that we had when the market went down at 7 a.m. or down into 7 a.m., that's been the top here on the NQ futures. So hopefully you guys can see that one there. So it's been range bound at that bottom. You need it breaking out through that high, retesting the next level up. And I think that's when Tesla and Zoom could start to make their breaks. We are getting into lunchtime trade. Only 5 minutes to go, or 5 or 6 minutes to go until we're sending you to Trader Pratt and Ms. V. It's been a wild morning. Volatility is going nowhere. You're going to have more from, Apple's got their event. You'll have the president talking, I think, a little bit more about, I suppose, the oil embargo and what that can possibly include. So make sure if you're taking trades at lunch, you do not want to get sort of whipped about. Have your key levels, know which stocks you're looking at, go long in relative strength, or find some key levels there. As the market tries to pop, I'll be all over this potential. Zoom could come now as the market's trying to make this breakout.
Okay, there it is. So Microsoft actually does take out that 274 level there. So we'll see. I don't necessarily Love this price, but there it goes to the upside, so a nice little move here. We do have to watch out for our NIO trade as that's starting to go a little bit ham here, back up to the upside, so we got to get out of this if it continues to go here. There's obviously some kind of news. We'll see what Brendan has. What's up?
Out here. There was more stimulus announced there by
COVID aid?
Schumer, $15 billion for additional COVID aid, but nothing on the Ukraine front, it would appear. Anyways, while I have you, let's get you caught up on what's coming up tonight. We're getting to the end of earnings. I was actually reading that basically all of the S&P 500 has reported. That doesn't mean there aren't a few to come after market tonight and tomorrow.
So it's Chuck Schumer right now, $15 billion in additional COVID aid. Let's get that off. We'll put it back on. $15 billion more in additional aid. Bang right now. We'll go, wow. As Microsoft, we just took that. We told you about that trade. The People's Trader is here. We gave you this 274 right there. Bang, $1 in 30 seconds on that news. Big time movement upside right there for Microsoft. Boom, boom, pow. As the dynamite goes bang right there for that trade. So there it is right there, Softy. Let's go, Softy. A nice little move to the upside as everything rally mode. Thank you, Mr. Schumer. They are giving more money to the people. So what does that mean? What about AMC on a little rally here as well, man? Do not get caught short right now. This is big news. The market likey a lot. Look at SoFi, and we likey SoFi as well, as my charts won't work. But SoFi right now, 50 cents in the money. There it is. Yeah, there we go. Nice little trade there. Hopefully, Gregory, you're making that money too. What's up to Tony? What's up to everybody here on the floor? Big time movement, but that was that.
Yeah, I mean, look, when that happens, like the trend was to the downside. I'm covered. You'll see I'm flat. I covered all my shorts. There's nothing you can do about that. We saw that last week. There was, I forget who it was, but it was like in the middle of the day, it was the Fed coming through and Powell turned the market. And all you could do in that situation was get out of your shorts and then find the long. So, I mean, I'm already on the bid of Zoom. Zoom didn't take out the high, so that breakout is still in play, but that was the long I was looking at. So I'm going to now try to buy the dip into VWAP here, which is 110. The breakout could still happen, but you've just got to be able to adjust on the fly. I mean, even Square, which I would have shorted at 98, I'm now not making that play. Because into this type of a print, that's exactly what can turn the market green, at least temporarily. So I'm going to back away. We have about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to go until we go over to Market Movers. It was a good thing we were able to get that one to you live. Would have sucked if that happened right in the middle of the transition, but that is big news, man. Because everyone's been sort of afraid risk assets and been piling on with what's going on here. Now, if you're going to get a little bit more stimulus, puts a bit of a put, at least short term, maybe for the rest of this day. I don't know, I don't want to say the week, but for the rest of this day. Ms. V?
Yeah, Ms. V.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day so far. Please join Prad and me right after to continue trading this busy day. Still, Joe Biden should come out. We have Apple event and many more. And guys, please make sure you like this video. Like button is underrated today and we need your support. And of course, happy International Women's Day, everyone.
Yes, of course. I mean, we've talked about that all day. Yeah, happy International Women's Day to everybody out there, male, female, whoever, man. It's a big day, and we're really happy to support it here at Trader TV Live. But I did want to give a big thank you and a big shout out, obviously, to all of our female viewers as well. And thank you for all the love on the chat, man. You're welcome in and out there for the SoFi trade, man. I mean, I can't be more happy with this. We're $1.50 in the money now on Microsoft that we gave to you guys as well. SoFi's 50. Look where we're long SoFi. If we have a trade of the day, XOM or SoFi, I mean, these are monster moves to the upside here. Look at this. Bang, right there. Nice little trade there for SoFi. And we talked about SoFi in the morning, that this was a name that we wanted to find long. If you come here at 8:30, that's why you want to be here, man. We talked about hitting this SoFi long at some point. We waited like a thief in the night, took that trade, bang that to the upside. That's like this is a monster move, honestly. 50 cents. This is a 5% move on SoFi that we have right here, right now. So that's that, man. Microsoft, a banger as well. Yeah, wow. What a great day. And again, thank you guys for watching us with only a minute left. Happy International Women's Day. We can't say that enough.
Yeah, exactly. And it's gonna be the theme throughout the rest of the day here. It's getting toward the close. I know we sort of glossed over the earnings. The thing that you got to watch out for in the afternoon.
Put the earnings back up.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know if we have it, we could have. I know if we can get it up really quickly because we did sort of gloss over. But don't forget about the Apple event. a lot of times when it comes to Apple, there is a bit of a fade opportunity as they're going through the presentation. I understand the market sentiment just turned into a long, but I'd still be looking for that potential trade just in case you are breaking out and you can maybe catch it off of some highs. It's just kind of typically what it does. Like if you get a big spike and it goes into a resistance level like a 160, I might still look to fade that, although that could have a bit of a different profile. Worth noting, Apple is also relatively weak today. It's still down 1% as the NASDAQ is booming. Part of that is because it's been the only tech stock that has above that 200 period, and it's been that safety name. So there's not as much money that wants to pile back into it when you get this relief rally. At least that's what it looks like here. Now it is time to throw you guys over to Trader Pratt and Miss V. Go get them.
Welcome to Trader Pratt and Miss V show. It is Market Movers Tuesday, March 8th.
That's right, March 8th, International Women's Day. Shout out to all my ladies traders. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And guys, welcome. Please make sure you like this video, be active on the chat, and ask us anything. Any fire trades today?
Just being patient right now. Obviously, the market news coming in. The more stimmies, more